Welcome into the Stack in the Box Philadelphia Eagles versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Wildcard Weekend Watch Party. My name's Sean Daley, producer, social producer, jack of all trades for the Stack in the Box podcast. Josh, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Josh Hill. I'm the editorial director of Fansided.com and lifelong Bucs fan. So this is going to get real interesting, Sean.
This might get hateful depending on how deep into my Eagles fan bag we go. I just want to say that.
I will say this morning I tweeted out last time the Bucs and the Eagles played in the playoffs. I tweeted the clip of Rondé Barber taking Donovan McNabb to the house to seal the deal to go to the Super Bowl. So I've been ready for this. I've been rageful all day.
Yeah, it's nice. I pointed this out beforehand that we both have 2000s jerseys on because it's the last time that we played in the playoffs. So that's a nice callback. In the chat here, I also I like the first comment I see. I agree. This is one to be the first upsets in the playoffs. Love that. Love this energy in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Matt Verderam fan page. Always good to see you. Brian Parr.
I will say I had a dream the other night that it wasn't the Eagles that the Buccaneers are playing in the playoffs, but they lost like the 54-51 to the Bears. So I don't know if that was like me reliving that game that they lost to the Bears last year, but I woke up in a cold sweat. It's like, oh God, is this going to happen? So I've been trying to like manifest a win, although the Bucs should win. Like they're the 2 seed. You know, no offense to the Eagles, but I feel like they're the significantly better team. I will say the Eagles run the ball really well, and that freaks me out a little bit, which is weird because the Bucs, it seemed like nobody could run against them earlier in the year, and now here we are. It's like I'm worried about Miles Sanders. Like I shouldn't be worried about Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, your issues are injury related, correct? I mean,
Yeah,
you get Levante David back today. Who knows how healthy he'll be? We know your secondary has been decimated by injuries. I think the one thing that's going to end up being the Eagles. Oh, am I frozen?
no, you're good.
Okay, cool. The one thing that's going to end up being the Eagles' downfall is the fact that our defense can't get pressure. And when we rush forward, don't get pressure. I believe we're second to worst sack team in the NFL behind the poor Atlanta Falcons. Can't get pressure on Brady. We play a lot of zone behind it. He's going to pick us apart all day. So I think that if we don't get any pressure, which we haven't all year, I think it's going to be a long day for our defense. That being said, the best defense is a good offense. Just stay on the field, keep them on the bench.
If all the Eagles need to do is just copy the blueprint of whatever Washington did to the Bucs earlier this year, which is one of the most embarrassing losses I've ever seen. When Taylor Heineke just bleeds the clock out, didn't they have like a 12-minute drive to end the game? So there you go. Just don't ever give Brady the ball. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it was the entire quarter. That was impressive.
Yes, that was awful. Bad for me. Bad for my bets. It was terrible.
I heard an interesting stat before this gets going. That the Eagles have covered 11 of their last 12 playoff spreads. So we stick around. That's all I'll say. We stick around.
That's true. I mean, they played. I mean, earlier this year, the Eagles gave me a pretty big scare with that Thursday night game. Like they came back and they almost won that. And I feel like Jalen Hurts, the offense, it's a little bit better because earlier in the year, I remember watching that Cowboys-Eagles game. I forget if it was like a Sunday or Monday night game. It was just gross. And it was like, man, this team sucks. And what's Nick Sirianni doing? But I'll give them credit. They stuck to it, and they seemingly figured it out. And now here they are playing on Wildcard weekend. And you go back to that Dallas game, if you told me that team was playing in the Wildcard, I would laugh at you. Then if you told me they were playing the Bucs, I'd be like, well, first round bye. I'll take it. Now I'm a little bit more nervous, but
yeah, so we're 0-6 against winning teams this year. We've kept it close against the couple. Chargers, Bucks, 49ers were all like one-score games, but we couldn't pull any out. We beat all the fringe playoff teams, Saints, Broncos, Panthers. But after a Week 7 blowout loss against the Raiders, we switched our approach, and I believe we led the league in rushing from then to the end of the season. So it's good to see a first-year coach overhaul everything and just be like, all right, this is my bread and butter. We're either going to go out in a flaming ball of ash, or we're going to run the ball. And I believe we led the league in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns by the end of the season. So it's a nice turnaround.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about Nick Sirianni? So because you're the diehard Eagles fan, and I was kind of underwhelmed by that hire, just from like a totally outside perspective. I was like, all right, you've got Jalen Hurts. You can go and get like a good offensive guru or somebody to come in and kind of develop him a little bit. And I guess Sirianni was kind of that guy because you always want to find the next up and comer. But what do you feel about him after having a season full of Sirianni-ness?
I think his start was goofy, to say the least, with that press conference. He's been goofy since, with a bunch of like flower metaphors and things like that. But it's not if you win the press conference, as we saw with Brandon Staley. He wins a lot of press conferences and lost a lot of key games. I like the fact that he wasn't. He started off trying to be a pass happy coach and was like, "All right, we're not going to win this way," and completely flipped everything. They weren't afraid to cut a starting linebacker halfway through the year, and then kind of rehaul that entire position because they're getting burned in the middle of the field. The players seem to like him. I'm sure he can't be as goofy as he was in that press conference in the locker room, hopefully. But it's a promising first season. That being said, Chip Kelly also had a promising first season, and that didn't end well. So
That is
it's
true.
all about where you go from here. But a nice first start, something to build off of for sure.
Yeah, and I mean that's all you can ask for, I guess, with a guy like Sirianni. And he got to the playoffs in the first year, so
Yeah,
I
without
would
a
chalk
big
it up
name
as a
QB
success.
too.
Yeah, without a big name QB, I like Devonta Smith. So you've got finally got like a franchise wide receiver. The defense is come around since that aforementioned Cowboys game a little bit, but I feel like the Cowboys game was a low point. That was a low point of the season.
Yeah, well, one of two. There was that, and definitely the Raiders game. But I mean, the team MVP.
Yeah.
This team is the offensive line for sure. We did have awesome years, like you said, from Devontae Smith and Darius Slay. But no matter who's running the ball, we can run effectively. Boston Scott, Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders, as you said. I don't know how he'll be able to hold on to the ball with, I guess, a club. Maybe we'll see a club hand today. I don't know. How is the healthier defense looking currently?
It's tough. It's a tough look. And that was always going to be the concern coming into the playoffs, too. It's like, who's going to be healthy? Richard Sherman's probably not going to come back until the Super Bowl if they make it that far because he's back on IR. So that was kind of a dud signing. And that was a signing out of desperation because nobody was healthy in the secondary when they made it. Sean Murphy Bunting's inactive today. That one's going to hurt. I wonder, I know that the run game for the Eagles is going to be something that might hinge this game a little bit. But with the secondary problems that the Bucs have had all season long, I wonder if Hurts maybe hits a stride at some point in this game and starts cooking a little bit, with some of the connections that he has. Smith scares me. I have a touchdown prop. I have Smith scoring a touchdown in this game. So while I'll take the touchdown, I'll take a Bucs win. But yeah, the defense, that's always been the question because that's how they won the Super Bowl last year. I mean, they beat the Chiefs pretty substantially last year because of that defense. So you just need that to be healthy.
Yeah, safe to say our offensive line is a little more healthy and quality than that Chiefs offensive line was, thankfully, at the moment.
Yeah.
Something I heard recently that was really interesting is that you guys were the number one rush defense through a couple, like maybe half the season, and then the second half were more middle of the pack. So I think probably the overall number probably lies a little bit in terms of how good of a rush defense you guys are currently, just because of injuries and everything. We'll see how healthy Levante David is. Just to make sure we're lining up here, the kickoff just bounced out of the back of the end zone.
Yep, we're ready to roll here. I like the red end zone. The Bucs, they brought out that's the Super Bowl end zone, by the way, because it was the bolded color background last year. They went that route, so they're doing everything. The superstitions. They've got the white jerseys. That's what they wore the whole postseason last year. They've got the colored end zones like they did in the Super Bowl last year. So we'll see if this helps. All right. First down.
First play of the day. I got to say, I've never seen a team pull out of a jersey tailspin as fast. You guys went with a weird jersey for a couple of years there, and now I love the classic. The classic is back.
Oh, I love it too. Oh, here we go. Keyshawn Vaughn. Well, because you talk about the Eagles' run game's been so good this year. Leonard Fournette's still on IR, so that's another guy. We talked about defensive guys who aren't going to be playing. Leonard Fournette's still on the IR. So Keyshawn Vaughn has all of a sudden decided to become Emmitt Smith these last couple of weeks. Granted, it was against the Jets and the Panthers, which isn't significantly stout, defensive opponents. But we'll see if he can kind of turn it around. And also, LaShawn McCoy's there, Giovanni Bernard. So both teams kind of have this ragtag running back group that they're rolling with.
McCoy is still playing? Really?
Oh yeah, he came back. He came back to the Bucks.
Good for him.
So it could be a weird revenge game too.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Brady. Oh, God, see, this is what they do. They always start slow. Every time they have weird first drives where they look a little shaky, and then they figure it out. So, what do we got here for a flag? Roughing the passer. Yep. All right, there we go.
How you want to start?
It's a tough one.
Let's see if it was real.
Was it a Brady roughing the passer, or was it legit?
Oh,
that was late. Late and a little low too.
So
he knows what he did too. He's holding the leg. He's like, shit.
So this is the Derek Barnett who just did that is notorious on our team for making boneheaded, really rough plays like that. So it's not a good start, but he's known for stuff like that.
Who got the strip sack on Brady in the Super Bowl? That wasn't Barnett, was it?
Brandon Graham, who was out for the season.
Brandon Graham. All right. Was this Vaughn again? All right.
Throwing the ball well.
That's the surprising thing too without Fournette, because Fournette was so good. Weirdly, like so good this season, because it was like playoff Lenny last year, and now he kind of carried that into the season. But they took Keyshawn Vaughn, like I think in the third round of the draft a couple years ago, and he was supposed to be a guy who was supposed to put some pressure on Ronald Jones, who was struggling a little bit. Ooh,
almost bad news.
Almost bad. So the fact that Keyshawn Vaughn's kind of come around, that's nice. That's interesting. It does remind me a little bit of some of those old Brady Patriots teams where it was a bunch of, no offense to these guys because they're professional football players, which I'll never be. But, I mean, they're nobodies in the grand scheme of the league. Like, if you were to tell, if I were to ask you who Keyshawn Vaughn was, you probably wouldn't even be able to pick him out of, like, a high school yearbook unless his name was there. So the fact that he's able to kind of step it up, that reminds me of some of those old guys from the Patriots teams where it's like, who's Jabbar Gaffney? Who's this guy? And these guys that just kind of showed up, especially without Chris Godwin, that's going to hurt. You got Mike Evans, Antonio Brown. That happened. So he's not on the team anymore. But you've got a bunch of guys like Tyler Johnson and, Darden, these guys who aren't household names that Brady's able to find these connections with. And that reminds me a lot of those old Patriots teams where it was like, who's this guy? Who was Wes Welker before like he became Wes Welker? And that was because of Brady. So that gives me a little bit of faith without Godwin that they'll be able to figure it out. And the fact, Keyshawn Vaughn, these guys are stepping up. And LaShawn McCoy coming out of retirement like 4 weeks ago to rejoin the team.
Yeah, I'd seen him do some media appearances. I thought he was full into that. I feel like it's also been the Eagles' blueprint the last couple of years, at least since our Super Bowl win. Just like it doesn't matter who's playing running back. We'd rather not spend money at that position at least. And it's just a collection of different skill sets, which I think the modern NFL is going to with like every time you pay a running back, bad stuff happens. Give a big deal to running back, you'll always regret it. And I feel like at least these two teams, I don't know how much you pay Lenny at this point. I can't imagine it's too much.
No, it's not too much. I feel like it's this team, like if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, it's going to be a little devastating, not just because they don't win the Super Bowl, but because they brought the band back. And I don't think they're going to be able to do that a third time. Like you got everybody in 2020 win the Super Bowl, everybody comes back. But, Leonard Fournette, all these guys are going to want to go get paid. Rightfully so. Like, and that's also the weird thing about this Bucs team, because it's never, ever felt like a traditional fan base and a traditional team. Like you look at like the Eagles or the Vikings or some of these other teams where they're building for years and years and years, and it kind of culminates in something. Where the Bucs were just, people forgot that they were a football team for 20 years. And then they signed Brady, and then they win the Super Bowl. And it seems like it's full of mercenaries. Like Fournette, he's not a franchise running back. He's not a guy who in 20 years are going to be like, he's a Bucs legend. Like I'm not buying a Leonard Fournette jersey, So it feels like there's a lot of those guys on the team, except on the defensive side, which is why the defense is so cool for this team. And it's always been that way. That's how they won the Super Bowl back in 2002. But like, Antoine Winfield Jr., they drafted him and he, gave us the iconic Tyreek Hill peace sign moment in the Super Bowl. I love it. Sean Murphy Bunting and all these guys. So that's and then Tristan Wirfs, who's now being helped off the field. These guys who they actually drafted. That feels like something that the Bucs haven't really had, and it also feels like a cheat almost to get to these Super Bowls because like you get Brady, and then all of a sudden you've advanced to the front of the line. Whereas like the Eagles, you're drafting Hurts, you're drafting Smith, you're hiring Sirianni, and you're building something. It feels a little bit more authentic in a way.
So to that point, the Eagles somehow have made the playoffs with 6 different QBs over Brady's career so far. So it doesn't matter who's playing QB. We'll scrap our way there. Interesting so it's unfortunate. Wirfs, you said, was carted off the field. That was who got hurt.
Yeah, he got helped off the field. Looks like it was like a knee thing. That's tough. That's huge. If they don't have him, he's like Brady's protector. Like he's an all-pro. Like he's in his second year. He's like an all-pro. One of the best offensive linemen in the league. So you lose him.
He's the best right tackle in the NFL because he got first-team All-Pro. The second best right tackle in the NFL, Lane Johnson of the Eagles. So we got the 2 best right tackles in the NFL in this game.
Only one of them's playing now, so
that is unfortunate. Well, I mean, if we ever get on the field,
it's only been like 2 minutes too of actual game time, and it feels like it's been a lot longer than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brady's going to pick apart our zone because even we sent pressure that last play, and no one got anywhere close to home. It's going to be a consistent theme here. Oh.
All right. Oh, is that Bernard? There we go.
Another first down.
Giovanni Bernard. That's the other thing, too. Like, some of these guys, it's like, you played fantasy football over the last couple of years, and you remember their names. Like, Giovanni Bernard, I remember him specifically for fantasy football. It's like, oh, yeah, now he's on the Bucs because it's like there's something useful about him. Brady saw something in him, so.
I have a friend who jokes about former players on the Sixers being Sixers legends from the trust the process days, and I think it's safe to say that Giovanni Bernard is a Cincinnati Bengals legend.
Oh yeah, the old Andy Dalton years, Marv Lewis.
Exactly.
Oof. All right, come on, first down.
1st and 10, passing the ball.
All right, there we go.
Brady set a league record with the amount of completions, correct, this year?
I think so, yeah. He has a bunch of crazy stats, which is why they're talking about him as MVP. He won't win. Like Aaron Rodgers is going to win MVP because it's mostly a narrative award. He takes stats out of it. I mean, they give it because of the narrative, and I think Aaron Rodgers has had the better story this year. But yeah, Brady's had a phenomenal year. I think he was better last year, but I don't know. And then like he just hit OJ Howard. We were going back to talking about these guys who just like plug and play and they fill in. Oop, Cameron Brate. All right.
Another first down.
Just keep chugging along. There we go.
The Eagles allow the highest completion percentage in the NFL in the regular season. So this is par for the course.
That's a tough matchup. Oh. See, this is where Brady goes to Gronk, usually.
Okay.
You've got Gronk and then he touchdown props.
Ooh, look at that block. That is nasty.
Little Donovan Smith.
Penn State, I think.
I think so, yeah. All right, here we go. 1st and goal. Brady's 6 for 8, 35 yards. Not a bad drive. There we go. Keyshawn Vaughn again. It's interesting that they don't have – that was Keyshawn Vaughn, right? Yeah.
The running back, yep.
It's interesting that – because Ronald Jones has had some injury problems. I don't know if he's active or not today. But every time he gets the football, I'm always so nervous that he's going to fumble. Because that's what he does. Really? He touches the ball and then he fumbles. So you want Ronald Jones in the game because somebody's going to punch that ball out. I think he's kind of played his way out of a role here, though.
I had him in fantasy, and that was an unfortunate pickup of my season for sure.
That wasn't a bad choice, though. I mean, he's in the right offense to thrive. He's got the right skill set. It's just that for some reason he can't pull it all together. Oh, there we go. Up. Do we get in?
And he's in. We got our first.
There we go. Giovanni Bernard. Touchdown. A long way from Cincinnati, Giovanni. A long way from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati Bengals legend into the end zone.
He's going to find out what it feels like to win in the playoffs. Although credit to the Bengals who actually finally did win in the playoffs yesterday. That was the first time they won since 1991. When were you born?
92. So I've
92.
never been alive for any of that.
Same. So this is the first time in our lifetime that the Bengals have won a playoff game. That's ridiculous.
that they got to be a fan favorite. I mean, I'm that's one of my like second teams I'm rooting for sure.
Oh, I love them. Joe Burrow is just so much fun. Like
Joe Shiesty.
he's going to be good. Here we go. Extra point, 7-0. All right. So if Tristan Wirfs is out, which it seems like he is, you just need to get the points now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here with the Eagles offense, what's going to look like with the Bucks defense, but let's just go get these points. Which is, like I was saying, the Bucks usually they have a weird first drive where they can't get things going. And I don't know if it's the script's not working or if Brady's just trying to feel stuff out. But those first drives are always so weird and frustrating. So it's nice to see that they got a touchdown there.
Yeah, which is why that roughing the passer penalty was even dumber because that was a pivotal series, and Derek Barnett, another one. It's happened multiple times, and even to the point where it's so dirty, where like even a Philly fan's like, that's not right.
And if a Philly fan's like, come on, that's too dirty, you've gone way too far.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I will say, if you've ever been to an opposing stadium like ours, sometimes there's an air of almost violence in the air in terms of just like how much we care and how bad things can get or how good things can get. But this season was less so like that. It's more of an optimistic team. It's been a nice surprise, I will say.
Seems very un-Philly-like.
What was that?
You got last year, didn't you go to one of like the first games that they had fans? Because I remember you wrote something for fansided.com about your experience there. It was a really good piece, but it was like cool to like live vicariously through you, like going to the tailgate and going to the game. And that was like limited capacity.
Yeah. I went to like I think 4 games last year, and I shouldn't have went to that many because it was such a bad team. But we went to a Ravens game where we lost on the last 2-point conversion against Lamar Jackson, and it was just it was too calm. It's too calm to watch a football game. If there's not a possibility of a fist fight breaking out, or I don't know, you walk past cars and there's like mountains of beer cans. It just doesn't seem right.
Right. That's why it was so cool watching that Bills-Patriots game last night. Because like the Bills hosted a playoff game last year. There's like maybe 6,000 fans there. And like last night, and even the Bengals game, because that was a full crowd too. It's like just you forget how awesome it is to hear the loud crowd and the roar. Like, and just how intimidating that is too. Because you missed that.
Are we going to call Bengals fans out for just completely stealing the Saints mantra from a couple years ago? What's the difference between who day and who dat? Really?
I think this comes down to who had it first.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as a Bucs fan, I will immediately side with the Bengals on this one because I hate who dat. I went to the Sunday night game this year that the Bucs got just hammered by the Saints, that 9-0 disgusting game. And I went out to a Saints bar to watch it. And let me tell you, I have never hated who dat more than that. I've never hated – if I have to hear a jazzy, upbeat rendition of When the Saints Go Marching In one more time, I'm going to lose it. But no, I don't know. I think whatever comes first. Who day, who dat, there's not a big difference. I don't know.
Also, how is there still 10 minutes left in this game? That's a weirdly slow-moving clock.
That is efficient. That's like a 5-minute even drive for the Bucs. Like I'll take that efficiency. Yeah. I wish Jalen Hurts got here. I do like Jalen Hurts. I wanted the Bucs to draft him the year that the Eagles went up and snagged him. That was the guy. He was one of my favorites in the draft. Oop.
Run the ball, start the game. Miles Sanders, love it. So Jalen Hurts has been wildly inconsistent. He looks excellent at times, and then he looks incapable of passing the ball at others. One of his biggest tells, if he's having an on game, is if he can throw deep in routes, where like you got to fit it between, if it's zone coverage, fit it between the corner and the safety. And if he's throwing that well, then he's doing good. But most of his completions either come in the flat or deep down the sidelines. So if he can mix in some completions over in the middle of the field, he'll have a good day. Oh, nice snag, Boston Scott.
That's nice. Third down. Now here's the thing. Okay, let's say that they don't get this third down. Do you go for it this early in the game, going against the Bucs? You're on the road. It's like 4th and 1.
No, we learned from Brandon Staley. There's a long game to go. I know it could get bad fast against Tom Brady. I get that. I would say our previous regime and Doug Peterson might have. That guy loved
Yep.
going for fourth more than I do on Madden, which is impressive.
It also sends a really weird signal to the Bucks too, because it's like, let's say even if you do get it,
Yeah,
if I'm on the Bucks sideline, I'm like, these guys are desperate already, and it's the first drive, and they're like playing scared that they need to get the first down. Oof.
yeah. And
Yeah, you're not going for it now.
That's a bad third down call, unfortunately.
We go. Devin White, baby. Without Levante David as healthy as he needs to be, Devin White, he's going to be an X factor in this game because he can stop the run. So
I was told that Levante David is even more key because he kind of points Devin White in the right direction almost. Like Devin White is an explosive player that just needs to be guided. I don't know how true that is.
no, he's like the quarterback of the defense. I mean, those two guys, and then Antoine Winfield Jr. They're like they're the whatever a good, not goofy version of the Three Stooges would be. That's them.
And that's a rough punt. Not a great start for the Eagles here, but we didn't expect anything different than this, unfortunately.
Well, my anxiety is easing here with every passing second.
I'm glad.
So Wirfs is questionable to return. I'll take that. The way that he was hobbling off the field, that made me nervous. That was tough.
I mean, you won't need him as much this game because of our lackluster pass rush, but you'll need him back for next round. That's probably the synopsis there.
I think so. I mean, we still got to get to this game. Like, who knows what's going to happen? I thought when the Eagles played the Bucs on that Thursday night game that they were pretty going to win that game handedly in the fourth quarter. And then the Eagles came all the way back. So it depends on what version of the Bucs we get in the second half. Is it the one that kind of takes their foot off the gas, which they've done way too many times this year, or is it playoff Bucs where they're like, look, we just got to win like 4 more games and we're repeat Super Bowl champs. So.
And you guys have an interesting strategy because you throw the ball so much, especially at the end of games when you're trying to kill clock. Like little incompletions here and there can really screw your opportunity to run out the clock, which is weird. Which is how that last game, it was not close the entire game, and then all of a sudden we're down by 6 driving to try to tie or win the game, which was the weirdest. It was I was in Italy watching it like 3 a.m. and I was just really confused the whole time. Hopped up on espresso. But it was a really strange game because like I don't think either team really played that well, especially at the end.
Nope. Yeah, it was nasty. But the Bucs have always played weird in the second half of the season. Like even last year when they won the Super Bowl, they were like a pretty bad call away on a 2-point conversion from losing to the Daniel Jones Giants on Monday Night Football. So, and then they had to come back and beat the Jets a couple of weeks ago. So they get weird in the second half of the season, but it's all about what they can do in the playoffs. And I think that comes down to Brady. It's like been there before. He knows what to do. That's ultimately what it is. I mean, I don't think that anybody cares in the Bucs locker room if they lose in week 17 to the Jets. It's do they lose to the Eagles in the wild card round? That's kind of where their head's at, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles lost to the Giants not too long ago either, 7-13. So I mean, they always show this Brady transformation of how he gets better looking with age, and it's impressive every time because he's looking rough in the first picture, but he's the human embodiment of fine wine.
Looks like we had the Yanks Go Yard podcast to blame for your Eagles woes. A little New York on Philly crime. I'll take it. I'm a Twins fan, so I feel weird about taking help from the Yankees podcast. So let's just say that's where I'm at. I'm willing to go anywhere here to get a win.
Oh, man, that's such a rough penalty. I'm going to be bummed about that until we do something positive, unfortunately.
Well, I got to do something here.
2nd and 8, and our quarterback fell down. That's great.
That's not what you're looking for.
Our corners, Steven Nelson and Slay, haven't been bad this season. It's more been the coverage by the linebackers in the middle of the field that's been really, really poor. And obviously, you can't cover all day, again, with the pass rush being terrible.
Here we go, a little hurry-up offense on 3rd down. Well, the Eagles going to stop here. I would say that that's doing something good.
Hey, and we'll
Oh,
take a drop.
what are you
We will
doing,
take a drop.
man? Come on. Oh,
We will
Tyler
take a drop.
Johnson. Oh, Brady's not happy. That's
Now, do you guys go for it here just to say F you? You're not even going to get close to this. Not the greatest pass, but you should catch that ball.
you got to catch that.
You got to catch that ball.
Come on. That looks like they're punting. No, I would say just punt it. Based on what happened on that first drive with the Eagles, until the Eagles give you a reason to be like, maybe we should start going for it on fourth down. Because it's the same thing that I said about the Eagles. So if the Bucks go for it now the Eagles, maybe they get, inspired where they're like, oh my God, these guys are going for it on fourth down and they really not want our offense out on the field. Maybe that psychologically pumps up, Hurts in some of these guys. But they're like, look, they're playing scared. All right. That's Tyler Johnson who dropped that too. Well, Minnesota Gophers legend.
Nice. It doesn't seem like number 18 on either of our teams is very good. We have Jalen Reagor, who didn't pass 300 yards this season, and we picked him ahead of Justin Jefferson, LSU legend, actual legend.
That's a tough one.
Not a great. We had 2 back-to-back drafts where we selected JJ Arcega-Whiteside ahead of DK Metcalf, and we selected Jalen Reagor ahead of Justin Jefferson. So that 2 rough drafts, but we got one with Devontae Smith at least. It's a little easier when you're picking 6th in the draft, but
right. The Eagles don't the Eagles have like 3 first-round picks this year too?
We do. At one point, they looked really good because the Colts were bad, we were bad, and the Dolphins were bad. And then all 3 of those teams went on second half tears. So I think it's like 15th and 18th so far, maybe somewhere in the middle of the first round. But I mean, a first-round pick is a first-round pick.
Now, would you rather keep those 3 first-round picks, or you want to package them and move up for somebody?
I mean, I'm still in on Jalen Hurts. He's developed. He's improved throughout this season. If you can tell by this stream so far, I want defensive ends. I want D linemen. Just the lack of pressure compared to when Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham were healthy and in their prime is pathetic. And you're not going to be able to beat good QBs if you don't get someone in their face. So I want defenders. I want linebackers. I would choose all 3 defenders with those picks.
All right, I see that. Well, then that's kind of how they won the Super Bowl too. You had all that defensive line depth.
Yeah, depth. It wasn't like Fletcher Cox is amazing, but then you had like Chris Long and you had Tim Jernigan coming off the bench. And that sack that you talked about with Brandon Graham, he was moved to defensive tackle in the race car formation because we had so much defensive end depth. So that's one of the reasons we won the Super Bowl completely in that play in a nutshell.
All right. Well, see what the defensive line does here, but look, the Eagles get something going on offense. That running game, that's what you got to do. Just keep trying to chip away, because that's how you're gonna pick apart that secondary. Is you're just gonna get the Bucs starting to think about stopping the run, and they're gonna get in their heads about stopping the run. They get a few good plays like they did on that last drive. They're gonna get inside their heads, and then that's when you start taking some shots to Smith, who scares the hell out of me in this game. Like he's good for maybe 1 or 2 really back-breaking plays for that Bucs defense.
He's incredible in terms of especially getting his 2 feet in on the sidelines. He's had a couple of Tony toe tap moments this season that have been ballerina like. We'll see what the Eagles do here.
Oh, a little quarterback action.
So Jalen Hurts always knows where the sticks are. I'm kind of surprised he even slid there. I believe he leads the NFL in rushing first downs, so he knows where to get across the line.
Nothing will ever top. I think it was the Vikings-Chiefs game a couple of years ago. It was like Kirk Cousins on a 4th down slid short of the first down marker. It's like, come on.
Oh, Kirk, correct?
Good old Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
And then the Vikings were like, more of that, please. We're going to restructure your contract so you can come back. And look how that ended up. So
we're thrilled about
weekend.
It'll be interesting to see. He's one of those QBs that could be moved this offseason, right?
Yeah. Well, especially if they get a new head coach. Oh, what's this flag? Oh, don't.
So a play that was going nowhere from the start, and now a flag that is probably holding on 2nd and 1. So not. I'm just guessing the flag's on us, unfortunately. Oh, okay. Was it offsides?
Oh, on the Bucs. All right.
Jason Pierre-Paul, who's coming off injury, correct?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's coming off injury on that defense. They were about to call the two of us in to play secondary for that team. So, come on.
Yeah, I was, for all my merits as a high school athlete, I got burnt in coverage more times than I can even want to admit.
All right, let's go. That's actually a smart play by Hurts because I think he saw there was no play and then he saw the flag. He was just like, forget this. Don't take the hit. Don't try to do something stupid.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that. There you go. Moving in the wrong direction.
A rough play there. Someone whiffed on a couple blocks. It looks like not that we've been completely predictable, but they know we're going to run the ball. So stack the box, get off a block.
Well, Todd Bowles loves the blitz too. So that could end up becoming a problem at some point in this game.
I mean, has Hurts thrown a pass yet? So far, all runs.
He's 1 for 1 for a single yard. Jones-esque performance going on here. Oh, there we go. A little play action. See, but when it's second 15.
Miles Sanders catching the ball with a broken hand. Good sign. Excellent sign. He's had a case of the drops every once in a while this year, and also has fumbled a couple times. So I'm worried about his ball security with 1.5 hands.
All right, 3rd and 9. That's tough. This is a tough spot for the Eagles.
You don't want to be in 3rd and long as this team, and of course we're here. So
just got the blitz here.
All right, you got trips left.
But man, you convert this. That's a nice little confidence booster. That's a win against this defense that you want. Oh, another Hurts pass. Oh, he's got nothing.
Oh!
Almost.
Rolling to his left, throwing to his right, almost throws a pick. Oh, man.
There we go. Going back to the conversation about the Bucs not drafting people and just kind of falling into Tom Brady. Jamel Dean's a guy who they drafted. For the first couple years of his career, I was extremely frustrated watching him play football because it was not pretty. He was not good. But it's nice to see that these guys kind of developed. So that's why I was saying the defensive side of the ball. That's the bread and butter for the Bucs. Like that's the pride and joy because those are the guys that were developed. Sean Murphy Bunting. I keep mentioning Antoine Winfield Jr., but like he 2nd round draft pick. So Jason Light invested a lot in this defense, and it's really paying off now. Even things like trading a 3rd round pick for Jason Pierre-Paul. Like he essentially drafted Jason Pierre-Paul with a 3rd round pick. I like what they did with the defense here, but they're coming around. And it's a tough spot for the Eagles now.
It's unfortunate because it looked like we had an open downfield target and Jalen Hurts bailed from the pocket, even though it was clean. So that's an area of improvement, hopefully.
How fast are Philly fans going to turn on Jalen Hurts? Philly fans not known for their patience with any of their, and which irony being you guys are the architects of trusting the process, which is require the utmost patience. But when do you start turning Hurts and being like, okay, this is not working?
We're notorious for screaming for the backup QB. Ever since, we've had good backup QBs. That's the one thing. We've always had good backup QBs. Obviously, Foles winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had A.J. Feely, who was a very good backup for McNabb. Then you had Jeff Garcia, who won a playoff game and was very good for McNabb. But yeah, I think Jalen Butler is absolutely correct. You have to have patience.
Mm-hmm.
He's a young QB. It's his first year starting, and he's done a good job. He led his team to the playoffs. They've obviously leaned into his strengths with running the ball. And you hope that he learns from situations like that just happened where he bails from a clean pocket. But his biggest development is going to be in the passing game. And hopefully we can scheme around that a little better. But, you got to give him one more year, especially because even though we have a lot of picks in the 1st round, there's no QBs in this draft that I love, at least. And I'm not the biggest college football watcher, but I do pay attention to mock drafts and scouting reports. And it doesn't look like there's a blue chipper, at least a 1st round blue chip quarterback. I don't know if it's any differently.
No, and I think that benefits the Eagles because it's like, look, you get another year of seeing what Jalen Hurts looks like with Nick Sirianni. And then maybe after next season, you can start reevaluating. But I agree. Jalen's right. Jalen's right about Jalen. Take some
and
patience
at least
here.
he's cheap for another 2 years also, which if anything we learned
True.
from Carson Wentz, don't give him a big bag of money until you know he's good. So at least he's cheap for a couple years, being a second-round pick.
I think the lesson with Carson Wentz is you just don't mess with Carson Wentz. There's Wirfs. There we go. Okay, baby.
Yeah, I think Hurts is definitely, it looks like he's mentally tough enough to handle Philadelphia. That's a big part of QBing here. So,
yeah, that's what I always loved about McNabb too. As much as I hated those Eagles teams in the early 2000s, I always loved Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest relationship with the fans here because we're very critical of him, obviously, since he was here for so long. We had a lot of time to pick his game apart. But I mean, overall, definitely the best QB in our history, no matter what you say. Gronk's involved finally.
There we go.
And Gronk's involved. Ooh, nice hit.
About time. See, they only need a couple of good catches out of Gronk every game. When he came to Tampa, everybody was like, oh, no, what are you doing? Like, he's too old. He's washed up. You can't use him as an every down tight end. It's like you don't need him as an every down tight end. You just throw him in there, and he's got such a connection with Brady that, like, look at last year. You just need, like, one or two big plays in a game, and all of a sudden the entire momentum's changed. Oh, there we go. Tyler Johnson, the old Dumb and Dumber, and he totally redeems himself. There we go. All right, now we're on the move.
Fantastic reference. Ooh, and that's a nice catch too. That wasn't a gimme.
That's the thing about Brady. Like, I feel like Rodgers is a more aggressive version of this, where it's like if you get in his doghouse, you're in there and you don't want to be there. If you let Brady down and you miss a pass like Tyler Johnson did, whether or not it was a bad throw, irrelevant because nobody's going to say that Brady made the bad throw. You want to get back out there and get back on his good side. And that's like that. That's an interesting motivational tool that I think only certain guys like Brady and Rodgers and like the Manning, I think, had that too, where it's like you want to impress your quarterback. You don't want to let him down. And it goes beyond just like, oh, I made a bad play and I let the team down. It's like, I don't want to especially somebody like Brady, because like, Tyler Johnson, he's only like maybe like 23. So he's been alive for only a handful of Brady's Super Bowls. So you're in there with like this one of the greatest players of all time, and you're like, I don't want to let this guy down.
Ooh, wide open,
Mike Evans is involved. Oh, keep going.
Oh man, yeah, it's the pressure of playing for a great QB, absolutely. And Eddie B is right. The Eagles are flat out horrible. Receivers are running wide open around the field. Everyone's getting involved now, slowly but surely. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Mike Evans with a nice route. I don't know if he should have been
that was, yeah.
But
all right. Evans, I don't see Gronk on the field. Gronk's usually a good red zone target, but Evans is a guy that Brady loves to go to in these spots.
And he's being given an awful large cushion.
Face. What are they doing?
Oh, man.
Oh, that was a disaster.
That's rough. That's a rough one.
Maddox.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why he thought he was going to get that pick, but let's see how close he was on this replay.
He read it. No, he was way off.
Not even close.
It was way off.
Not even close.
Back to Keyshawn Vaughn.
All right.
Boy.
So
we got a flag. I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn's like RB1 right now, which is interesting considering he hadn't gotten consistent playing time until a couple weeks ago when they were in Carolina.
Yeah, well, I mean,
fresh legs in the playoffs.
Slice and diced every way. Let's see what this flag is.
Sirianni doesn't look happy. Not a good sign.
Giving him his close up.
Ooh.
All right. And two flags on us. Fantastic. Gotta love that.
Wheels falling off in real time. All right.
I don't know what it was, but I don't know about today so far. It doesn't seem to be too bad, but yesterday's officiating was notably awful.
That was awful. That was terrible. The Bengals game, which is rough because I still think the Bengals, they come away from that drive before halftime with points, probably just a field goal, which didn't end up making the difference in the game because the Raiders still lost by more than, it was a one-score game. But, we in here?
Down to the one?
It's going to happen. It's a matter of when, not in here.
Yeah. It's one of those things too where it's unfortunate because like we're talking about the whistle being blown maybe in the middle of the play. I mean, why don't stop playing? Like, you never stop playing. I guess is my one caveat to that.
That's the thing. They kept showing the replay of the Raiders guy in the end zone. He like pulls off. It's like, I don't care if the whistle got blown. How many times has a fumble happened or the ball's loose and guys pick it up and run it back regardless of if a whistle's being blown or not?
Yeah, just in case.
So never give up.
And he's in.
Boom, there we go. Keyshawn Vaughn, baby. Getting out of control here. 14-0. Fire the cannons.
This is unfortunate.
14. Oh shit! It's never good when you got multiple people like waving to the sideline for somebody to come out and help somebody who got hurt here.
Another injury. I don't know how big of a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fan you are, but Jeffrey the butler is in one of the poetry episodes yells, "And the cannons!" That's all I ever think about when you guys score a touchdown.
Oh no, it's Ryan Jensen, the center. Oh, he's not happy.
Was it dirty? Was it Derek Barnett again?
I don't know. They kept showing the replay of Keyshawn Vaughn scoring, but see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know necessarily if they're in danger of losing this game. It's the fact that we're starting to drop like flies here with injuries. Wirfs left. Thankfully, he came back. This looks a little bit more concerning with Ryan Jensen. And if you lose your starting center, that's awful.
Yeah, it's the only thing that'll give me any hope or life here currently, because I don't know what we've done well. I don't think you can point to a single thing that's been done well by the Eagles. We punted the ball 20 yards out of bounds. We've been run on. We've been passed on, and I don't know if we've gotten a first down yet. So it's I guess it's going how it probably should be going. I just thought we were going to keep it a little closer, at least to start.
Ryan Jensen is our Derek Barnett. He's good for a couple of stupid, boneheaded personal foul plays.
Some hands
every single game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it'll cost you, too. Sometimes he'll slip one in there. It's like, man, it just kills the drive. Like the game that they lost last year to the Bears. Big reason they lost that game is he would not stop committing penalties. And it's just like, dude, you're just killing us. I think they had like 25 or 30 yards in penalties on one drive. It's just like, come on. He's always good for a couple of those. But he's also of that offensive line. So if he's hurt, that's going to be rough. Because now I don't think Wirfs is back on the field yet. It looks like he's fine. He's going to be able to play. But you're missing your starting center and then one of the best tackles, if not the best tackle in football. I would define that as
say. We said they're not the greatest. They're the 7th seed for a reason, but they have potential. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And they need to fill in pieces on the roster. I agree with this, but I'm still going to be bummed. It's still not good. But I do agree with this.
Yeah.
And it is impressive they've made it this far, especially how they started the season.
And look, it's that playoff experience for Hurts and all of these guys. Sirianni, too. It's like, look, he can go back. So you were just talking about all the goofy things he said last offseason. Now he's like, look, we made the playoffs, and he can use that to kind of build on something. So, those 3 first-round draft picks, there's a lot going on. Philly's fun. Philly's going to be interesting because if you look at the NFC East, it's the Cowboys and nobody else. Washington's all right just because it's Ron Rivera. I love him as a head coach. He's an awesome
What's your
coach.
pick for their name, by the way? What do you think?
God, weren't they going to do something like Admirals or something?
Uh-huh.
What was the one that they said they weren't going to do, like Red Hawks?
Red Wolves, I think, was the
Wolves.
no, maybe? All I know is that it should be the Presidents. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun. Admirals would be good. Generals, really, you're kind of in the territory though of you're just basically making up Madden create a franchise
Right.
team names.
What was the replacements? What was the replacements name? The Washington
Ooh,
was that the Generals?
I think it was the Generals. Yeah, just
I'm
roll with
kind of
that.
copping off of a Keanu Reeves movie, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world. Jalen with a lot of good points here. Tampa Bay's attrition is worrisome, if not for this
Yep.
game, but for next game.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. Do I think they're going to lose to the Eagles? At this point, my anxiety is evaporating rapidly. It's okay. They're going to have to play if everything breaks the way everybody's expecting it to this week, and they're going to play LA next week
Okay.
in LA. So, oh no, they're coming to Tampa. Never mind, because we're the 2 seed.
And Worst is walking though, right? Worst looks like at least he can stand on 2 feet.
Worst was back. He was doing some drills and stuff. But I would say at this point, keep him out until you need him in there because you're up 14-0, and this is all about next week, you know. And it's you don't want to get too into that where it's like, okay, we're done with this game. We're thinking about next week because that's how the Eagles get back in the game, and then that's how you end up not playing next weekend because you were thinking too much about the Rams and you didn't think enough about the Eagles. But if there's no Jensen and there's no Worst next week, that's going to be rough. So I agree, Jalen.
So we got an excellent comment from Zach. The Washington Generals are actually the team that plays the Harlem Globetrotters. So that's a good call. And I think they've won one game in 70 years. So that's probably a bad call.
That's a tough one. I think one of the names, the Washington Go-Go's.
The Sentinels is the replacements. Sorry.
That's actually a cool name. Sentinels. I dig that.
It's a Matrix vibe. Also Keanu Reeves related.
I like it.
Always in favor of that.
Just the Washington Keanus. We got a common theme here of just Keanu Reeves coming back.
Yeah.
There's also no better way to completely flip the perception of your team from what it was to something positive other than involving Keanu Reeves, who is like probably the most positive person in the entire universe. The one person I think nobody has a single bad thing to say about.
The Washington John Wicks. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
I don't hate it. I actually don't hate Washington football team. Maybe it's just because it's like we've gotten used to it, but
yeah, I'd like to say just for the irony of it and like the sarcasm almost, but I think you got to be creative. There's so many names. I guess I just don't like it because the logo is generic. Like I'm all in favor of a nice mascot and a good logo. I'm not in favor of brown with yellow letters.
No. But also, if you do like the Washington Presidents, you're basically you're getting a little too close to the Nationals because because your mascots then theoretically would be like George Washington and Teddy Roosevelt and all these former presidents, and that's what the Nationals do. So,
yeah, I mean, what Washington Capitals, Washington Nationals, it's all in that realm though. That's why I like it. And if we can have some giant-headed mascots race around the field at halftime, just like the baseball team does, I'm also in favor of that. So
I wouldn't hate that either. You can't.
All right, first quarter, and the game looks to already be over. I know football is a long game, but the Eagles have been very uninspiring. Tampa Bay, although losing several people, has looked efficient. The defensive lines played really well. You guys have kept a lot of people in the box just because you know what we're going to do. But impressive start from you guys.
A little bit. The injuries make me concerned. The score makes me happy. We'll see. I mean, maybe the Eagles can get something going.
The run game, if anything, with Vaughn. Vaughn's been the bright spot of this game.
This is what it was like in the Thursday night game. Like the Bucs, they had a good start, and then the Eagles. I mean, like you were saying, you're in Italy chugging espresso, watching the Eagles come back, and that's the situation I don't want to get in here. It's just like just put them away and get it to a point where you're like, look, we don't need to have Wirfs back. We don't need to have these guys in there. Just rest them up. The Oklahoma drill at halftime.
I like this. You can do this.
I like it a lot. What was it? Didn't the Vikings a couple of weeks ago have like a corgi race at halftime?
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up because that sounds adorable.
Let's get presidents racing corgis at halftime for the Washington Presidents.
Or
that's worth the price of admission.
Yeah. Or you could have the presidents and in the mascot uniforms attempting to ride horses in a race, which
That is true.
although dangerous would be entertaining.
That would be a little bit, yeah. All right, here we go. 14-0. I'll take it. I'll take it at this point.
Yeah. I think the most predictable part is that I don't think we've touched Brady so far. He's been a little off on a couple of the passes, and like maybe 1.5 drops if we're counting receiver drops.
Yeah. That Tyler Johnson one, I don't know who we put that on, Tyler Johnson or Brady. But he made up for it. And then we got the touchdown drive. So
it was a nice catch.
Second quarter, here we go.
17 total yards in the first quarter for the Eagles. That is fewest of any quarter this season. You know,
good Lord,
you do your best work in the playoffs.
That's how you don't score points. 7 yards, 2 for 3, 7 yards. That's where Hurts is at. Brady's over 100 already. Oh, downfield pass. There we go. Oh,
into double coverage. Just what you want.
Poor decision making. Yeah, 17 total yards is a good way to not score any points in the first quarter.
And here we are, 3rd and 8 again. Just where we wanted to be.
That's where I like it. That's where I like to see them. 3rd and 8. Got to start converting these. God,
you wonder sometimes if coaches are outsmarting themselves on these early down plays, and it's like if we want to put them in the best position, just sneak it twice and go from 3rd and 6. It could be worse than this.
Start putting yourself in a position to convert these thirds down. Oh God, what is this? Oh my Lord! Just don't fumble it. Oh God.
Oh man. Did he plant his flag? Was that the celebration there?
I think so. Antoine Winfield Jr., he's good for a bunch of nice celebrations. I like it. The peace sign on Tyreek Hill is still one of the greatest moments of my sports watching life. God, there's just so much pressure on him. What is he supposed to do there?
I mean, if he had dipped out to the left, maybe, but he guessed the wrong direction in the pocket. But in that situation, you just got to get the ball out quick, and he's not capable of that clearly in this game.
All right.
At least a nice special teams tackle. I'll take solace, and at least we did that.
So, the Eagles just need to stop here. Have the Bucs punted yet? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. 2 long drives for touchdowns. Methodical.
Yeah. Oh, no, they punted once. 1 punt.
Okay.
But still. 3
because
drives,
of the drop
2
pass,
touchdowns.
I think.
That's right. Yep. The Tyler Johnson. Oh, Jensen's back out there. That's good.
So both your injuries have been mitigated currently.
For now. Let's see. There's always the potential for re-injury. And then who knows what happens in the week, too.
True.
Pro Bowler. All right. Then Ryan Jensen's first Pro Bowl of his career. That's interesting. Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, Hurts has 7 yards. Brady is 12 of 16 for 103. Oh, and we can add a little bit more to that. There's Evans again. All right. How are the Eagles leaving all of these guys so wide open? Like, it's not even hard.
Well, that's just a good route, not enough good anticipation, and because Slay's been a really good player for us, and that's just not good.
That's awful.
It looked like man coverage though, at least. So at least maybe we're switching some stuff up.
12-1 on first.
And now we're zone again.
Oh,
Brady's just too smart to play soft zone over the middle on.
Into triple coverage too. That's just wow.
He fits it between linebackers.
Look at this.
You can see the linebacker shifts into the left, and he just finds the pocket immediately.
Wow. The Eagles have had 0 plays in the Bucs side of the field. That's insane.
All the plays that have been like our best play have been you guys dropping the ball. That's been our most successful defensive play currently.
I'm not an NFL head coach, but that's not a good strategy.
Look at this graphic they got up. They made Tom Brady look jacked.
These Fox cartoon graphics have just been amazing for the last 2 seasons.
Wide open again.
Good Lord, Scotty Miller's getting involved. All right,
Nice.
we're just spreading the wealth here. This is
Get
insane.
everybody
130
in.
yards for Brady. Insane.
Whew. I feel like Scotty Miller was a big part of the playoff run last year. I haven't heard his name a lot this year, though.
He was. He had the huge play at the end of the first half in Green Bay where it ended up being the difference in the game. Oh, Keyshawn Vaughn again. Oh, he's gone. He doesn't run into his own guy. All right,
He popped through the hole. That was nice.
They're feeling themselves now. This is not what the Eagles want. The Bucs offense grooving, potentially going up 3 scores before you've even gotten on their side of the field. This is not the preseason.
Not many positive plays. Our defensive coordinator, John Gannon, has apparently been interviewed for head coaching jobs, which is hilarious. I think.
I hope he took those calls because I don't think he's gonna be getting a lot more of them.
No, I hope he takes those calls too.
Yes.
The first time he played us, he was on autopilot. Looks like he's also on autopilot this time.
Yeah, I don't know what adjustments you made, man. You might want to make a few more. 2nd and 4. God, look at this. Just like with ease.
To his credit, though, I don't think there's enough talent on this defense to make much of a difference.
No.
He'll be completely fair. He's not working with the best deck.
No, I don't think anybody looks at the Eagles and says that's a vaunted defense that we don't want to play. Like even what we were talking about earlier in the game, it's all about Jalen Hurts and the offense. What can they get going? Because you're going to be trying to catch up to the Bucs. You're not going to be stopping them, I don't think, with this defense. But we'll see here. You get
21-0 here.
I mean, hey, you get a stop here. Oh,
tough.
Yeah, you get a stop
when that ball
here.
pops up in the air, it's always hold your breath.
Field goal. That's
Pro Bowler Darius Slay almost making a play.
Oof. Yeah, you just got to hold them to a field goal here. That's your
moral victory.
That is all you can hope for. Because then it's at least you've clamped the bleeding a little bit. 17-0 isn't great, but it's a lot better than being down 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Any positive at this point?
Ooh,
a play made by is that Washington football legend Ryan Kerrigan?
Oh God. Oh, we took a page out of the Andy Reid playbook on that one, and it did not work. Oh. Well, Gronk, it would help if you blocked him.
You know, that's an actual defensive positive. So we're building. We're building from one.
I could have made that tackle. All right, look. Hold him to a field goal. This is in play here.
I think they go to – I mean, it's obviously – I think they're going to Gronk over the middle here because we're soft in the middle.
Or Evans to the outside.
Oh, and we actually get a sack.
There you go. Finally got to him.
All Barnett has to do is not kick him in the knee now. All right, good. That's good.
All right. There we go.
Let's see what happened. It looks like the pocket just collapsed. But they were ready for that Gronk route, it looks like, thankfully.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
All right. Give it to the Eagles.
Underrated for us this season. Former Pittsburgh Steeler.
I just got to make this, which the Buccaneers making kicks is no sure thing, let me tell you. 34 yards. Ooh, all right, he's got it. All right, there you go.
17-0. Positives. We're building on positives here.
I'd chalk that up to a win. But still, every single time they've gotten down into the red zone, they've come away with points. And the Eagles haven't even been on the Bucs side of the field yet. So
nope.
That's what's holding everything up here. Is Jalen Hurts has to start get something going. And what does he have now? Is he even in double digits for passing yet? What are we looking at?
There's no way.
He's got 7 yards. He's 2 for 4 for 7 yards. That's why the fact that it's only 17-0, that's a victory in of itself.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because that last play they blitzed, but it's been clean pockets. He just has to stay in there and maybe try to throw the ball downfield. Maybe go for the Derek Carr approach and attempt to get a pass interference downfield. The old Joe Flacco. I'll throw it. I'll underthrow it, and then maybe you get a face mask down there.
This is why the Eagles are losing 17-0. It's because Jalen Hurts has 7 yards passing. He's also the leading rusher with 6 yards.
There you go.
Which I don't know how that's possible. Has 6 of Jalen Hurts' 7 passing yards. What's going on? Like, let's get it going.
Adjustments here. Hoping for adjustments.
Let's see.
That's my dog unhappy.
Yeah, the Eagles have only targeted 4 receivers right now. 2 of them are running backs. Rager's the only actual receiver that they've targeted, and then Goddard's the other one. Nothing for Smith yet.
Jalen chiming in again. I think the downfield ball would be good. I just don't know. Devontae Smith hasn't even been targeted yet, has he? That's who you need to go to downfield for sure.
No. Jalen Rager's the only guy, the only actual wide receiver that's been targeted so far. At this point, take some downfield shots. What's the worst that can happen? Because, like what you're saying, maybe you'll draw a pass interference. Yards are yards. Yeah. It doesn't matter how you get into the Bucs side of the field. Just get
Devontae Smith has gone up over people a couple times this season. He's not a big guy, but he will catch contested balls. So go for it at least. It's definitely unfortunate.
All right. 17-0.
Joe Shiesty with his first playoff win in 31 years. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan at this point. And if the Eagles continue this, that's my new team. Got to be.
There's a lot to love about the Bengals. I will say the Bills' playoff run feels a lot like the Bucs Super Bowl run last year. With the Bucs, they retired Drew Brees. They had to get through Aaron Rodgers, and then they had to beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl, which were all very seemingly impossible things, given the fact that Brees beat them 2 times in the regular season. But now the Bills, they hammered the Patriots, and they blew out Bill Belichick, which is big. They'll probably have to play Patrick Mahomes next week, which means you could beat him, and then exercise your demons with beating the Titans, theoretically, in the AFC Championship game because they lost to earlier in the year. And then your final boss would be either Brady or Rodgers.
I think that comparison is good too, because at no point during the regular season were you like, this team is dominant. Like the Bucs last year, like they were good, but they didn't look like they were running on all cylinders until it absolutely mattered. And like the Bills this year have been incomplete. They've lost some bad games. I think they lost to Jacksonville, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Jets, one of the two. They've had some bad losses, and they didn't look as good as we thought they looked last year. But it's all about getting hot at the right time. And I think all year they've had their best success when you put the ball in Josh Allen's hands, whether it's him running the ball or passing the ball. So it's just like, just give him the ball. I think it's safe to say, I think he's the second most athletic quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if you have
I think so. I would agree with that. And yeah, Jalen, I think Sirianni is calling the plays for the Eagles. Which, if we're talking about adjustments, maybe we want to adjust out of that because it's not working so far.
It's worked all year, but it's weird when the team doesn't have an offensive coordinator. Like I don't even think we have one. I think it's him and a committee, unfortunately.
Oh, I hate when they do that. I just found out that the 49ers offensive coordinator, I think it's Mike McDaniels is his name. He looks like somebody who probably sold me weed in high school. And it's incredible that he's an offensive coordinator in the NFL. Somebody had a tweet about him where it's like, this guy looks like he's an expert on spread offenses and also how to microwave a burrito. And it's like, it's awesome. But that's the case where I thought
microwave a burrito. But.
I love a microwave burrito, let me tell you. But that's the case where it's like, I thought that Shanahan was calling the plays in San Francisco because that's kind of his bread and butter, but he's got this offensive coordinator underneath him. Which now, if we're talking about guys getting head coaching jobs, that's you want to pluck from those trees. Because like, remember when everybody's making fun of Sean McVay's assistants, where it's like these guys aren't getting, just as long as you've been in a room for 5 minutes with Sean McVay, you're going to get a head coaching job. But Zach Taylor's in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Shanahan's in the playoffs. You got all these guys that are in the playoffs. Now, Brandon Staley almost made it to the playoffs. So,
yeah, it didn't help that they were all similar looking white guys in this day and age too. But they've been all very good. I mean, Staley's probably the worst out of them so far. LaFleur's had, I think, the most wins in 2 years of any head coach in his first 2 years, if I'm correct. Like, he's been amazing.
Yep.
Having Rodgers obviously helps, but
I've from the old Stack in the Box podcast days when I was doing it with Verderam, I had bought so much Matt LaFleur stock, and I was living in about like 7 different beach houses from all of the stock that I had in Matt LaFleur. That paid off well. Now Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels is my guy that I'm buying stock in. So we'll see in a couple of years where we're at with that.
I'll say this as the Eagles get started on what looks to be another rousing offensive campaign. Rich Bisaccia, that guy better keep his job. If they fire him, I don't know what they're doing because that team was inspired all year.
Bisaccia, he's good. He's an old Buccaneers guy too. He was on those John Gruden staffs back in the day. But which is why
got probably my favorite goatee in the NFL. Also,
it's great.
Nothing.
It's great.
Excellent.
No, that's a guy where it's like, what does he have to do to prove that he can be a head coach? Like, he literally came in and took a team that if you put just about anybody else in charge of it, who's not an established head coach, the Raiders maybe win like 3 or 4 games, and it's not pretty. They don't make the playoffs, and they are definitely not in a position to then win that playoff game on the last drive of the game. Like, with 5 seconds left to go, the Raiders are in a position to tie that game, and if they're feeling really gutsy, maybe win it going for a 2-point conversion. So
yeah,
I don't know what else you have to do. That's literally a test run. What does it look like with Bisaccia as the head coach for the Raiders? It looks like them having a miraculous season and making the playoffs.
It looks gritty. It looks like they care.
You got to keep them.
It was good. That being said, I think Brian Flores has to be the number one option of hiring anyone this offseason.
I think so. If the Bears know what they're doing, I think the Bears are going to hire Flores.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Look, Smith. They give Smith a lot of cushion. And then, of course, Hurts looks the other direction.
All right. Positive yardage.
Smith is at the bottom of the screen, wide open with cushion. Your first look is you immediately go to Gainwell to the other side of the field. For what? Maybe a couple of yards? Now it's 3rd and 7, which, again, that's the theme. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7. Like, what are we doing?
At least there's been positive yardage on this drive, which gives me any hope. So if you get to 4th and 2, you got to go for it, right? Even it doesn't matter where you are on the field.
Absolutely. You're down 17-0. You've got to do something.
And you don't look like they're going to stop them on the other end. So
get a first down here. Oh, the Bucs brought everybody. That was a good.
They brought on the offensive line, adjusted, and Hurts stepped up to the right side, thankfully.
All right, well, this is like the first actually positive drive of the game for the Eagles here.
This looks like an actual football team now currently.
Still not in Bucs territory though. We still need to pop that. We need to break that seal. But 26 yards for Hurts. Again, there you go. All right, now you're in Bucs territory. Finally,
now this is the Eagles. Fortunately. It's probably too late, but we'll see.
6.5 minutes into the second quarter. That's how long it took them to get across midfield.
That's a slow start. That's absolutely a slow start.
That's not what you want to do. Oh, God. That was Levante.
Just when you think we're rolling, we throw a pass to a receiver who doesn't know it's coming. So that's good.
Well, to Jalen's point in the chat, the Eagles look like a 7 seed. Like, this is what a 7 seed looks like. A team that maybe lucked its way into the playoffs a little bit, is good enough to get into the playoffs, but isn't maybe good enough to hang in the playoffs. I mean, they look like a 7 seed.
Were the Raiders a 7 seed? What seed were they? 5 seed? Something like that?
I think they were the 5 seed. The Steelers are the 7 seed. In the AFC.
Well, you're right. That's going to look like a 7 seed as well. Okay.
Well, yeah, I think that they're the definition of lucking into the playoffs. Oh, deep downfield.
Now, do you go for it?
Or I would. You're on side of the field. You're down 17-0. But above all, you've got some momentum going on this drive. Don't break it. Just keep going.
Yeah, they should have. They probably should have ran the ball last play if they're going to go for it. Unfortunately, but
4th and 4 is pretty manageable though. So
in this game, it's short yardage.
We'll see. When we get timeout to think about this. Oh, Bucks timeout to think about this. All right. Yeah,
Well,
you got
it's
to go for it.
What's your take on, since in this commercial everyone seems to be riding the Niners train against the Dallas Cowboys?
Niners.
You like the
Niners. Niners are my pick. I also like the Niners going up to Lambeau and upsetting the Packers. They're such a weird matchup for the Packers. You can just see Shanahan scheming something with the run game to exploit all of the nasty holes that Packers defense has in the run game. That's been their weak spot. They haven't been able to stop the run late in the season. So if there's an offensive genius who can expose some of those flaws with a run game that's a little unpredictable and unstable in a good way for the 49ers, it's Shanahan. So yeah. I like the 49ers. All right, 4th and 4. Big play. You convert this. This is a huge This is a huge confidence booster. Oh, he's got him too.
All right. Catch on the sidelines by big Dallas Goedert.
He's been going to Goedert a lot. What is that? I think that's his 6th target of the game.
He's made some contested catches too, because that first one for the first down wasn't an easy one. That one wasn't an easy one. He's been good. He's ever since we traded Zach Ertz, he's emerged for sure.
The Eagles,
we got first down.
You're cruising now.
We're actually in Bucks territory. Oh, free rusher.
Watch out. Ooh. Got out.
Oh!
We give
Goddard credit, and it goes right through his hands. So,
Oh, my God.
And he was wide open. He had room to run. So this is a really nice job getting through the pocket by Hurts. And then he throws it, and you got to catch that. Yeah, you got to catch that. Real quick, just to finish the Dallas Niners prediction, I think with that amount of defensive talent that Dallas has, Mike McCarthy should probably be fired if they lose.
I think so. Here we go. What do we got? 2nd down. Nope. You want to go the other direction? All right. So we got a nice 3rd and long coming up here.
Nice 3rd and 12 again. Fantastic.
Pretty
good job stopping the run by Devin White and the Bucs defense so far.
We were talking about it earlier. That was their bread and butter at the beginning part of the season. They were able to stop the run really well, to the point where Bruce Arians kind of, tempted everybody to run the ball against them, and we saw what happened with the normalization of that DVOA that they got going. But with the Cowboys, I'm all for a Mike McCarthy revenge game in Lambeau. Nope.
All right, we got 2 yards.
What was the idea there?
Couldn't tell you. Now, depending on our field goal kicker has been pretty good, Jake Elliott. I don't know if you kick this because it's a pretty long play. Is Devontae Smith a decoy?
Oh my God! Right, they not a single target yet.
All right, 4th and 10, and we're going for it. This is bad. This is
what the Bucs want. This is what the Bucs want. You stop them here, we might have to stop the fight before halftime. Oh, almost got the pick.
And he goes to Jalen Reagor, who's by far the worst receiver on our team. This has not been a great decision making half for
idiot
for Hurts so far.
Off on the field. Oh, what are you doing? Helmet off on the field. You can't do that.
So now, is that a first down, or is that still your ball and then a penalty?
I mean, it happened after the play, so It's a personal foul. Oh my God
Oh,
Almighty!
wow.
How stupid do you have to be? Come on.
Oh, man, that is rough. And we see Richard Sherman in street clothes behind him.
Oh, Carlton Davis. That's another guy who I was talking about. Jamel Dean, one of those guys they drafted a handful of years ago to kind of build this defense. But God,
Not a smart move. I honestly I don't understand how that's still our ball because it happened after we turned the ball over on downs.
I mean, we had the conversation earlier in the stream. Are we really surprised by bad officiating or confusing
No, but like
officiating?
that's by the book. So I don't know if that rule in and of itself makes any sense.
That's a dumb one. But at the end of the day, keep your helmet on. Just keep your helmet on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
That's
it's unfortunate.
The Eagles deserve to have the ball after that. That's just dumb.
I'll take it, but even if we score here, I still feel really bad.
That's the type of thing, though. Like you just don't want to let the Eagles back in the game. Don't give them any ounce of hope that they can get back into this game.
Yeah, because if we score and then somehow get a stop, it's still a game. Not much of a game, but it's still a game if that happens. So he was just trying to show off his grill. Absolutely.
17-0 though. That's gonna be a tough one to come back from for the Eagles. You got to get something grooving here. That was a good drive, though. I'll give the Eagles that. That was a good drive. You convert on 4th down. Keep the drive going.
It's got to be Devontae Smith. Like you got to get this kid the ball. He's your best offensive pass catcher. I mean, I know they're probably keen in on him, but like you can find a way to get him the ball.
I mean, right now it's look at the stat sheet. The only receiver that the Eagles apparently have is Dallas Goedert.
Yeah,
so he started throwing it to somebody else,
and he dropped a ball that went right through his hands. So it's
that was a drive extender. That was tough. That's at least 3 points that he left on the field there by not catching that.
I agree.
All right.
I will say I think the one positive for us it's been all year. I think our offensive line hasn't done a terrible job in pass protection and picking up blitzes.
No. All right. Looks like the Bucs kept the ball, so that's good. I feel less upset about this. The taunt.
Oh, so it is all right. So that makes more sense. It is Bucs ball.
Yeah, after the play makes sense.
That's what I thought. That would make no sense if that was how it went. Okay. All right, 1st down, actual run stop by the Eagles defense.
All right. We're coming up on 4 minutes till halftime, though. So
and Wirfs is back in, even though he has a noticeable limp. He's in the game.
God.
Whether that's smart or not.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, do you really need him in the game at this point? If they score on this drive.
It looks like an ankle. They showed his ankle, which was heavily wrapped.
Yep.
Better than a knee, for sure.
Yeah, just like the Bengals do anything to get Jamar the ball. You got to get Devontae Smith the ball.
Even if it's just throwing it up to him in single coverage, which I know he's not seen a lot of probably, but they're showing the double team on Fletcher Cox. No one else is getting any pressure. Yeah, Wirfs is hurting right now.
Yeah. If I'm the Eagles, I'm going at him. He's still the best tackle in football, but
yeah, maybe run a stunt to his side.
I don't even know what percent he's at. I don't know what he's doing.
Force him to move laterally a little faster.
Oh, got Brady. There you go.
So just as you said that, Washington legend Ryan Kerrigan pushed his way through Wirfs, and now he's staying down.
Yep.
Get
him out of there.
It looks like you were right. Why are you doing this? Ooh, that is a nice move by Kerrigan, but obviously he's playing it much less than 100%. Yeah, get him at it. Send him to the locker room.
He's hobbling bad.
That's not.
Get him out. No, Send him.
Linemen
Send
are
him.
tough as hell. I will say that. Like the
They
fact
are.
that he clearly can barely walk and is like, get me in there.
But dude, it's the wild card game. Like, you don't need to be in there. I
And
get it.
you're up by 3 scores. Absolutely.
I love the drive. I love the gutsiness. But my dude, think about the big picture here. But hey, Eagles got a big stop here. This is their second stop of the game. So
Yeah, I think so.
get
And
something
that
going.
was kind of, we got through, but that was because they put Wirfs back in directly because of that.
Yeah. So like get 2.5 minutes for halftime, get something going here. Ooh, that's not what you want.
All right, 40-yard line. We need a drive here. You need points. I'll take points.
You got to get something.
Is it too crazy to say that Terry Bradshaw is the Charles Barkley of NFL media?
I think so.
Like certainly not as like just purely amazing, but in the way that he doesn't give a damn what anyone thinks and is just doing whatever at all times.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's the Charles Barkley of the NFL. I also prefer the NFL on Fox pregame to the NFL on CBS, but maybe that's just because I've always, Bucks and Eagles. Maybe we're just used to watching Fox more than CBS.
Probably the NFC pack.
Again.
Oh, here we go with the tight end.
Got it again. That's big. That's big. That's
oh,
nice. Oh, he's still going too. He's on the move. Oh no, a flag.
Block. It's going to be a holding on downfield.
Oh God, don't be a hold or a block.
It's holding on us. There's no way it's not. Blockers downfield. Someone's. Yep.
Yep. Oh my God. Well. Oh, Kelsey too.
Oh, that's a bad call.
That's a tough call.
That's a bad call.
Oh my God. That's a bad call. I'll take it, but that's a horrible call. And Kelsey doesn't make mistakes like that. Kelsey knows what he's doing.
Which is why it was like, oh, they're showing Kelsey. I wonder. Oh, and then it's not actually a hold. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So do we get it where the spot? Oh, no, they moved us back. Yeah, that's not good.
And now we're to the 2-minute warning. So, well, we said that the Eagles needed to get a drive here before halftime. They needed to get some points. This is the opposite of that. Moving in the wrong direction. Bad holding penalty. Not because Kelsey did anything wrong, but because the officiating this season has just been atrocious.
That's just the list of bad calls continues.
And they've just been so bad this weekend.
Bummer.
That one's tough. That's a big time bummer.
Because the run out to the catch was excellent on that one. I think that's out of our former Super Bowl nucleus that is still here. I think that's the one guaranteed Hall of Famer we have on our team currently. Is Jason Kelsey.
No, he's there's some lifeblood stuff going on there where it's like he's a locker room guy. When he leaves, that's going to be a end of an era type of deal.
Yeah, we know he can give speeches. That's definitely hammered in
one of the best Super Bowl speeches ever. The Super Bowl celebration speeches. That's iconic.
There's always some moment that's like the most iconic moment. Like you guys had Brady throwing from the boat. Like there's always something that's like, wow, what a day.
So Philly too, because it's like you had to bleep everything out that he was saying. So it's just this, muted screen of this 300-pound guy screaming and pounding his fist on a podium. It's like, oh my God.
Mars outfit and glitter. Yeah,
it's great. So good.
It's a good time.
Man. I wonder what Thanksgivings are like at the Kelsey household.
A lot of stuffing. A lot of turkey.
Okay. Some iconic stuff going on there. We get our Manning cast on Mondays. Let's get like a Thanksgiving cast with the Kelseys.
Yeah, that's absolutely a. Now I wonder if there's like a third brother, like the Manning brothers, where like he just Just like the normal
Kelsey.
brother. There's got to be one.
What Kelsey look like, though? I don't think I'd like that. All right, so if the Eagles get some points here at the end of the half, what are we feeling? Bad officiating, definitely yesterday. Yeah, I mean, all season. Jeff, it's been all season long that these officials have been absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's truly an indictment of the officiating that the playoff crews, who are supposed to be like the highest graded officials of the entire season, are the ones making these calls.
Like yesterday, Jerome Boger. Like we've seen him before. Like you know these people.
They got into these crews because of how good they officiated during the season. So that's just how systemic this problem is from the top down. That it's like you're saying, these names and faces that we know who just don't know what they're doing. And I don't know if that's because they're bad officials or if because there's something with the rules committee that has kind of blurred some lines here or something like that. Because these guys weren't always terrible.
And you could always point to, during this season especially, maybe a couple of them got COVID and it's a backup crew. But like I said yesterday, I recognized faces. Like we know these are the starting guys. Ooh, and just as they show no targets for Devontae Smith, he gets a target, goes for a lot of yards, and it's called back because of holding. Let's see if it was holding. I don't think this was holding.
What?
That's another just back-breaking holding call that wasn't holding.
Well, they called pass interference. Like that.
So was he blocking before he caught the ball, maybe?
Within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So you can get away with some stuff there. That's two really, really bad calls against the Eagles on this drive. 1st and 20. Oh, downfield pass.
Now they're just reaching at straws now. You just got to get down the field.
You just keep throwing it to Goddard, too.
In double coverage, that's not good. Yeah, I think it's unraveling here, partially because of the officials and partially because Hurts is just trying to win it all with one play now because you got to make up some ground.
Getting desperate, man.
But you got 2 timeouts. You got 2 downs, probably 3 downs at this point. Just make your way down the field. You don't need to get the first down in one play here.
No, I hate moral victories too. But you got to get points before halftime, even if it's just a field goal. All right, there you go. Nice little scramble.
Now, will we get a makeup call and getting pushed?
Nope.
The official busted his ace.
Oh my God,
that was pretty funny. He probably deserved that one after those last 2 calls, I will say.
A little catharsis. Although maybe that took away the penalty because he slipped. He's like, oh, he didn't push him. He slipped like I did.
Now, usually these are. Yeah, I mean it's grayer. You can't really call that, but
no,
we've seen it called before for sure, but you can't call it there. All right, 3rd and 11. It seems like the Eagles have been in this situation all game.
Step up. Oh, he's got him. Wow.
Wes Watkins downfield makes a nice catch,
making up for that pass interference too.
And Hurts stayed in the yeah. Hurts stayed in the pocket there. He moved up the pocket. He didn't bail, and then he took the hit and delivered the throw, which is I'm focusing on development points now.
Keep it moving here. Another good drive for the Eagles. There's Smith. There we go. Now we're getting him involved.
There's a real target for Devontae Smith. It stands.
Eagles are gonna get some points before halftime. This is nice. Although now that I said it, watch stupid turnover here for the Eagles. But you can't do that. You've got such a good drive going here.
Oh
my God! There it is. What are you doing,
That's
Edwards?
Awful.
Okay. You're not going to score any points before halftime.
That was dreadful.
This is getting ugly.
Let's see the replay of this awful decision.
Was he in? Dude, throw
That's
it
another
away.
situation where he bails from the pocket for no reason.
Oh, you see what he saw, though? I think he saw
Ooh,
Dean
there.
fall. He sees Dean go down, and he doesn't even think about Mike Edwards coming across in coverage.
And he's in bounds. He's absolutely in bounds. So
That's
that's
a bad decision by Hurts. That's a rookie mistake. And I know he's not a rookie anymore, but that's a rookie mistake. You see the guy fall, and you're like, oh, shit, I got him. Boom, touchdown. And it's all he's thinking about.
Yep.
No way. Not happening. You got to throw it away there.
That was bad. Now, classic Brady would score points here. And to address Jeff Bree, it was actually the right call. I think we agreed on that. That you just don't stop playing. It was definitely you don't. But
yeah, that's
and others as well. So I'm on your side here.
Yeah, you got to keep playing through the whistle because that's what they tell you to do: play through the whistle.
Yeah, and so many times people stop, or like I don't know, you keep going, and then all of a sudden they overturn it, and it's a touchdown because you kept running. Oh boy, that was that was a roller coaster of emotions. I think my voice cracked during that interception, and I think I'm deflated at this point. I think we're just gonna.
I mean, you go into halftime without a single point scored.
No,
that's about as demoralizing as it gets. On the road against the 2 seed. All right, Gronk getting moved.
So if we're going
down.
baby steps, we did get to your side of the field. That
twice,
is
too. Twice. So
we did complete several passes. That's good.
Third down. There's a chance the Eagles get the ball back here. So because you got a timeout, 2 timeouts. So the Bucs don't get
I don't know what
this.
you say at halftime though. Be more talented. I'm not sure.
All right, the Eagles just need to get a stop here. Just don't let them convert this first down. Oh, another sack. There you go.
Okay, so then what? You got 2 timeouts.
Kerrigan again?
Maybe 1 timeout. So
Kerrigan again.
I mean, let's give him. Let's be real. Nice move again, but it's against the backup right tackle, as we know.
True. Got to take advantage, though. You're going up against the backup right tackle. You should.
So then you're playing for a field goal here. Obviously, you got to get 2 downfield chunks, call a timeout, and kick the field goal.
You are desperately playing for some sort of points before halftime. You do not want to go into the locker room down 17-0. Because, like you're saying, what do you say? What's the motivational speech there?
It's not the biggest deficit ever, but it's like just how this game has gone has been so demoralizing. Like you've been destroyed in every phase of the game. You can't. Now the penalties, while a couple of them weren't actually penalties, they have still done some things wrong.
And
my God.
Oh God. Just get away from it, man. I hate when returners do that. When the ball is bouncing so close to them and you've got the other team clearly trying to down it. It's just like get out of there. Because what's going to happen is it's going to hit you, and then now the Bucs get the ball, and now all of a sudden it's 24-0 at halftime instead of 17-0. So
and it's even worse because that's Jalen Reagor who's returning the punt. I think he has one of the lowest punt return averages in the league. And now when they send him out during home games for punts, we boo because he's really underwhelming and it's been really awful. And it's plays like that. Call the fair catch. You gain like 20 yards. It bounced for like 15 yards. So it's just like decisions like that where it makes you scratch your head.
All right. See if you can get something here before halftime. Well, not going to get anything.
Nope. You're gonna lose 2 yards.
Not even calling the last time out to try and get something else.
Nope. That is that's as rough as it gets. I don't even know who gets the ball to start the second half, but that's
the Eagles
that's hard. That's hard to watch.
The Eagles get it after halftime. So, but I don't want to say that was waving the white flag, but you're down 17-0. You have 1 timeout left, You're not trying to do everything you can to get points. No.
I think the punt return ineptitude maybe killed the fire on that one too. Because if you get the ball at the 35, at least you have 2 shots. The 20-yard line that's almost impossible.
That's a rough one. Well, that was utterly demoralizing half of football, I would say. I don't know how you come out and you get happy with, or you do something with that. It's
coming in off the top rope, Zach again. Anyone else happy we don't have to hear Joe Buck and Troy Aikman call a Cowboys game? Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. That's the Nickelodeon game too. That's the slime game.
That's
the
awesome.
Nickelodeon game, which is one of the greatest additions to. I hate this whole Super Wildcard weekend because the Monday game doesn't make any sense competitively.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I don't know your opinion on the 17th game, but I think it's universally not a good idea. Like the playoff team, maybe. Like I like that there's only one bye now, but yeah, Nickelodeon was a good idea. And then we have Peter Dewey coming in here from Bet-Sided at halftime.
All right. Little Peter Dewey action.
What's going on, guys?
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
How we feeling? How we feeling at the half?
I'm
nauseous.
I love it.
That was that last Hurts drive was tough. I thought they were going to get some points there and kind of make this a game, but that was rough, man. It wasn't a bad idea to throw it there, just not a great throw.
If you have a Josh Allen arm, that ball gets there. Because we all saw the guy fall down, but the ball just took too long to get there.
Yeah, not ideal. I mean, at least they get the ball at the half. You got to think. Hopefully, they make some adjustments offensively. They got to get Devonta Smith the ball, man. Though I don't know how he has not gotten the ball at all in this first half.
Yeah, somebody might want to remind everybody that he's on the team. I think that one catch he has was he's had 2 targets maybe in the first half. Unless it's been Dallas Goedert, nobody's thrown the ball anywhere else. Rager's gotten a few targets, but
he should be inactive. Rager should be inactive for this game.
Let's see. What is 88 yards?
Romo talk about his Cowboys. Have we noticed Romo being biased towards the Cowboys? Listening to him, has anybody noticed that?
Oh, he always is. Yeah, he always is.
Okay. I will say I listened to Drew Brees last night and was pleasantly surprised. He was really good, I thought. He was a little shaky in the pregame, stumbling over some words in his monologue, but then when he's actually breaking down the game, him and Tirico I thought did a really good job.
I think you might be in the minority there.
Really? Okay.
I like Drew Brees. I didn't think he was bad. I don't know if I'd want him to do a Saints game though. I just hate when guys do the games of their former team. It's just why are we doing that?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they keep picking these Cowboys QBs to be announcers, so soon they're all going to be Cowboys QBs anyway.
It's true. Dak's up next in 10 years.
Just get a little hesitant. Any other thoughts from either yesterday or at halftime, Peter?
Yesterday kind of went how I expected it to go, other than the Pats getting blown out by as much as they did. I thought the Bills would win the game. I did not expect them to really put a beating on them. But the Cincinnati game, I figured it would be pretty close, but I was on the Bengals. I think they actually have a shot to win the AFC, to be honest with you. But for today, I thought this game was going to be closer because I thought Philly would control the pace a little bit and be able to run the ball. And they just have not been able to get anything consistently going on offense. And the defense showed up after those first 2 scores. They got some big stops, got some big sacks. But, I mean, you got to score to win. It would have been huge if they could have at least put 3 on the board in that first half because they get the ball. But I don't know. It's gonna take back-to-back really good drives from Hurts to open the second half if they want any chance.
Yeah, and a turnover, obviously. And I don't think Brady's can give that to him, but we'll see.
Yeah, the good point here about Derrick Henry, which is kind of the looming cloud in the AFC. It's yes, you got the Chiefs in there, the Bengals look really good, but the Titans were pretty damn unstoppable when Derrick Henry was in there. It really wasn't until he got hurt that offense started to struggle a little bit. Because look, I mean, I don't think I'm breaking new ground here. Ryan Tannehill doesn't really feel like the type of elite quarterback who's going to take a team to a Super Bowl. But you put Derrick Henry in there, all of a sudden, that's a completely different offense. I mean, they look great with
and
him.
Foreman's been okay. He's been pretty good. I think he ran for like 120 this last week, but it's just the difference between good and Derrick Henry is still a large margin.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how healthy he really is. Like, obviously, he hasn't played in the game, so since getting hurt, I'm intrigued. Like, if they go out there and they give him his normal workload and he's good, they're going to be really tough to beat because then they can control the pace. They have a decent enough defense, and you kind of take the ball out of Tannehill's hands, which is a win in that situation. I feel like they have the chance of, like, you want to keep Mahomes off the field, you want to keep Burrow off the field, you want to keep Josh Allen off the field. Like, if any team can do that, it's the Titans. So that helps them for sure.
Yeah, the part of that Patriots Bills game, going back to that I thought was most hilarious is that everyone acts like when it's cold out, QBs can't complete passes anymore. It's like, oh, it's 0 degrees. It's going to be run. They act like it's going to be like the single wing all game. It's like, no, he threw for like 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, it turns out that there are such things as hand warmers and gloves, and people can still throw and catch the ball. So I always thought that was hilarious.
I think people put the wind game, like, gave that way too much value in this game. Like, there wasn't 40, 50 mile an hour winds. Like, it's a completely different aspect throwing the ball when it's just cold out. And, like, the Patriots, the weather I thought was going to benefit the Patriots, like, purely just because I thought maybe they'll be able to run the ball and, like, play defense. But I mean, they couldn't do anything yesterday. When they gave up those first 2 scores as quick as they did, I was like, they may not score 14 points. Like, they're just not that good offensively.
I mean, I hated it because I took under 49. So because it did. I thought that it was going to be a game kind of like the first game where it was a brutal playoff match. It's going to be a defensive, showdown. And Belichick, he never gets blown out. Like, Patriots, that seems like every Sunday when I'm making my bets, I'm like, look, the Patriots almost never get blown out. It's always close games that they're in. Belichick just never lets that happen. So that's also why it was so surprising that they just got their entire ass kicked last night. That just does not happen to Bill Belichick teams, which was also satisfying to watch happen, but bad for the bet.
Just to address this comment here, where the hell is Matt Verderame? He'll be on the Chiefs Steelers stream a little later, so you can tune into that to see him. Sorry to disappoint. I can do my best Verderame impression, but
we'll just do Verderame impressions the whole second half.
Yeah, might as well. Nothing else to do. I just it's fun to see a Bills team who just has been really inconsistent all year actually get a nice win over the Patriots. It's always good to see the Patriots lose. I think I can speak for a lot of people saying that.
Always.
Bills Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are going to roll tonight, but, like, Bills Chiefs is going to be quite the game in the divisional round. I think that's going to be really
rematch,
fun,
right?
Yeah,
rematch last year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think the AFC, I feel like they caught a lot of flack for not having, like, a dominant team this year. But you look at, like, the teams that are remaining. If the Chiefs win, you're like, hey, it's actually pretty 4 damn good teams. Like, I don't think it's, like, as much like the NFC dominated in terms of record wise all season. But I think the AFC could make some noise and possibly come as the favorite into the Super Bowl, depending upon who it is.
Yeah, and like a good QB succeeds in the playoffs. There's a lot of good QBs on the AFC.
I think so. Peter, what do we got going for some good bets to make the rest of the day here? We've got 2 more games going down. I didn't bet on this game because I don't want to compound my pain if the Bucs had lost. But I got to make it up. What are we doing for these other 2 games we got going on?
So for the 49ers-Cowboys game, the one bet I put was Dalton Schultz anytime touchdown. I think it was plus 175. I'm a big fan. They've targeted him a ton in the red zone lately, and Dak has been really, really good at home this year. He's thrown like 20-plus touchdowns and only 2 picks at home, and the numbers are like even on the road. So much better quarterback at home. 49ers defense is much better against the run than it is against the pass. So I think if they get down into the goal line, not saying they won't give Zeke Elliott the ball, but they've been running a lot of these like short rub routes the last couple weeks where Dalton Schultz kind of just falls into the flat and nobody comes with him, and it's easy touchdown. So I like him at that value. It's tough with Dallas having as many weapons. You got some guys that are going to be minus odds, so I'll take 175 for him to score.
I like it.
Nice. What do you think about taking the under Steelers Chiefs? Am I crazy, or are the Steelers going to muck up this game?
I don't hate it because I don't trust this. I almost just don't trust the Steelers offense to score. Like they scored 46 points between the two of them combined last matchup, and like the Chiefs had to score 36 of them. Like I don't know if they're gonna put up 36 points in a playoff game, but I also don't know if I trust the Steelers to really move and score the ball. Like the Chiefs defense has been really good the second half of the year. And I mean, Big Ben's been throwing ducks, man. Like if they can't get the running game going, I just don't know like what the Steelers like. What's our big move? Are we going to throw 25 Deontay Johnson screens? Like I don't hate the under because I just don't think the Steelers can score. Like their only chance of winning this game is if it's like a 20-17 type of game. If the Chiefs scored 3-4 touchdowns, there's no way the Steelers are staying in this game. I think that's what I would go with.
I like that. Big one is tomorrow. That's the one that I'm having trouble figuring out because you've got Cardinals and the Rams, two teams that know each other. They're always weird games to bet on the NFC West because it's like they're either going to be super close, low-scoring games, or they're going to be these offensive explosions. What are you going with tomorrow?
Well, Josh, this was my best bet of the week. So I've been on this since like Monday. I'm all over this. I had Cardinals +4. I think the line's moved to 3.5 now. But Cliff Kingsbury, underdog, is 13-3-2 against the spread since he started coaching the Cardinals. And as good as the Rams have been in certain spots, like leading at halftime, Sean McVay is really good. At home, Matt Stafford against winning teams is, I believe he's 26-57 straight up in his career. Oh, God. So this isn't like, the Rams are going to walk away with this one. And I think we noticed against the 49ers in week 18, you don't get really a home field advantage if you're the Rams at SoFi because there's just no Rams fans in Los Angeles. So I wouldn't be surprised. Cardinals haven't been in the playoffs in a while. If a lot of Cardinals fans travel out for this game, make it feel, more 50-50 split. But I think this is a one-possession game. So getting it at 3 in the hook, at 3.5, or even at 4, like it was early in the week, I really like the Cardinals in the spot. I think they could pull off the upset, honestly.
Have you seen there's a video of when the Rams made it to the Super Bowl, and there's a video of like this Rams bar, and they make it to the Super Bowl, and then one guy goes, yeah, and then that was it. It was just like really the transplant city thing is so unfortunate for a team that's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's a weird atmosphere, man, watching those games, and like they're on offense and the crowd's really loud. You're like, what is this? Like, because you look at other places and it's dead silent when they're on offense, and then it's crazy when the other team is. So I don't know if I trust the Rams. I see one of the comments we have here, worried about the Cardinals with D-Hop not playing. I get that. I completely get that, but I just don't like. Cardinals did beat the Cowboys without D-Hop. I don't like the Rams. The thing is if you had D-Hop in this game, they were going to put Jalen Ramsey on him, probably shadow him the whole game. I don't think the game plan changes that much. Now it's just going to be maybe they put Ramsey on Christian Kirk or AJ Green. Like you were going to have to find other ways to score against them. It wasn't going to be like 10, 15 targets for DeAndre Hopkins. And they did beat them by 17 in LA earlier this year. So I like the Cardinals.
That is true. All right.
How's it going?
Hello. Look at that. Hello. It's an all-star team we've got going here.
Hello.
Just in time for the second half of misery. I mean, football.
Second half comeback. I can feel it. Got to stay confident. The Eagles have this.
I've already pulled all my hair out. We're already here.
Well, Ian's a Falcons fan, so he's definitely not rooting for the Bucs here.
I am a Falcons fan and probably the number one Tom Brady hater in the world. So I'm definitely not rooting. And I have money on the Eagles money line, so I'm cheering against the Bucs vote. 3 different ways at least.
Boy. Yeah,
Oh,
can't
man.
can't throw end zone picks. That's first on the bulletin board.
Well, I mean, scoring points would be nice too.
Yeah, that
That
would be nice.
usually helps.
Moving the ball in the right direction.
88 yards for Jalen Hurts at halftime. That's not going to get it done.
And one Devontae Smith catch, I think, right? Maybe two. It's just not enough.
They've also gotten called. It's just another hold. They've gotten called for so many holding penalties on big plays too. Like every single time they make a big play, it's because they held. It's horrible.
That's killing them.
And the first two were iffy, I will say. I haven't seen this one yet.
The Kelsey one was real iffy on the that screen. That was, I don't know about that one. It looked like Edwards was falling down.
Jason Kelsey is perfect in my mind and will never make a mistake. So, is this on him again? Yeah. So this is a real hold on Kelsey.
That's a hold.
As I say this, he makes a holding penalty. Damn, he
To
gets
be fair,
demolished there too. That's
you kind of have to hold Vita Vea. That's usually the best strategy. Otherwise, he's going to blow right past you.
Ian. Before we get too far into this, any bets? Any bets we should be making for either this game or later today?
Well, I'm just sweating out Eagles. I mean, it's not even a sweat. My Eagles money line bet is lost. Let's be honest. Tonight, I'm laying the points with the Chiefs. I don't know if you guys want to lay that many points. It's a tough one. I kind of like the under as well. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have any bets placed yet? Do you plan on placing any bets for tonight? I'm on 49ers money line too. I like that one a lot more.
I'm on 40. I took 49ers money line too. I'm big on the 49ers. They're sneaky. So they're good. I need Devontae Smith to score a touchdown because I've got an insanely stupid touchdown parlay that involves Devontae Smith. It had Dawson Knox in there. So that worked last night. But let's get something going here for Smith.
He scored.
Yeah, we need some more.
First.
I'm sure you guys brought
points this game. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I'm sure you guys brought this up, but like, should Gardner Minshew be getting a shot here at some point or no?
I mean,
that was a nice thrown catch.
I'd say if the Bucs score another touchdown and Hurts throws another pick, that's the perfect recipe for a Gardner Minshew appearance. That being said, Hurts has had some really bad halves this season and has bounced back in the second half multiple times. That Washington game is a good example. A Giants game, he's done that. And again, those are against terrible defenses. So I don't know if he's going to be able to bounce back against an actual good team. But he's been night and day a couple times this year.
Oh!
He tried to throw another pick. Did you guys hear the story of Gardner Minshew going into Nick Sirianni's office and demanding the starting job a couple weeks ago?
Is that true?
Really?
Did that actually happen? I saw that. I didn't know if it was
He's not short on confidence.
I like it.
That's a wild move.
I'm just hoping he was wearing jean shorts when he walked in.
Should have done that at halftime too.
Probably making a sales pitch right now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, we got 2nd and 10. The Eagles.
I had a nice parlay with this game and the Suns Pistons game, and I had a DeAndre Ayton prop in there, and then he sprained his ankle in the first 5 minutes of the game and didn't come back in. So that was awesome. Very tough.
Did you guys see the Draymond Green bet scoring the first points of the game, and then he intentionally gets the foul and leaves the game?
Yeah, most sports books didn't pay that out. They've
really
voided the bet.
That's probably smart.
I bet if it was the other way, then they wouldn't have done that if it was the other way, though.
Right.
That was a wild scenario with him, like them announcing like 5 minutes before the game, 10 minutes before the game that he wasn't going to play, but he was going to start and just immediately come out. It's so crazy. It's also hilarious that classic Warriors, like, we're going to do this for Clay coming back like it was the NBA Finals or something. Like, come on, man. He can come back without Draymond on the floor.
The last couple plays have been a clean pocket, and Hurts has just been inaccurate, it looks like.
Time for some Minshew magic. Make it happen.
Couldn't be worse.
I mean, you may as well give Minshew a chance. I mean, like, Hurts is clearly not going to get it done. You got to try something.
He's in his element, too. Florida man coming out in Tampa. He's leading the Eagles back. Like, let's go.
He is the ultimate Florida man.
Because
Once
I
again,
think
try
it's
throwing it to somebody other than Goddard. That'd be nice. I think the Eagles have other receivers. I could be wrong based on this game, but it doesn't seem like they have anybody else to throw to. It's all going to Goddard.
I don't think the Bucs are going to necessarily run away with it either, because like with their offensive line injuries, they just look lost now.
Yeah, Ryan Kerrigan resurgence apparently with this backup right tackle in there. Washington football legend Ryan Kerrigan. I was saying before you got on, Ian, I might go with the Chiefs Steelers under, just because I don't. Number one, we don't trust the Chiefs to put together a complete game, and two, the Steelers defense always finds a way to stay in the game. So if it's like 13-17 late in the fourth quarter, I won't be shocked.
Yeah, if I was going to bet on the total, I'd definitely take the under. Both teams, I assume, are probably going to run the ball quite a bit because both defenses aren't good at stopping the run. So run the ball, keep the clock moving. I can't see Big Ben thrown for a ton of yards or any scores. Yeah, the under would kind of have to be the play in that spot.
Yeah, he doesn't have really any choice in retirement. He just kind of has to at this point.
I would love to see if he tries to make a case for coming back next year.
Do we think he disappears into the woods or like reappears on some talk show? What do we think the odds on that are?
Oof. That's a tough one. When he
I'd
came
like it if
back,
he disappeared.
when was the offseason that he came back with that huge beard and he looked like he had like not been in civilization for like 2 years? Was it 2020? Was it the
I think it was
COVID?
2020. Yeah.
Zach's foot on the woods.
The woods. Yeah. I would like it if he disappeared. But
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to come back on. He's not exactly a very electric personality or generally a likable guy off the field. So I don't know if he's going to find anyone who's going to want to put him on in front of a camera, but who knows?
Maybe he'll pop up on a Wrangler commercial next year or something like that.
Oh, God. Him and Brett Favre in a Wrangler commercial?
I like it.
Mowing their lawns. Having a good time.
Devonta Smith's heated on the sidelines. He's not happy.
I'd be
Put in Minshew.
It's still only 17-0 too. Like the Bucs are winning, but it's not like
Right.
like Ian said, they're not running away with this thing. Like this is what
Just
happened
on
in
again.
that Thursday night game that they played, where the Bucs were winning, and then they just let the Eagles back into it.
What do you guys think about live betting Bucks minus 16 right now?
I'd go the Eagles side personally, just because, like I said, I don't know how much more if Tampa Bay is going to score, just because their offensive line is so banged up.
Yeah.
But then again, for them to cover that, I mean, the Eagles will probably have to score once or twice, and is that going to happen? I don't know.
That's my thing. I'm not sure.
And then you got the Minshew wild card too. Someone they didn't scout for. Who knows? Oh,
Yep. Well,
there's
you
a
guys
run
don't stop
stop.
them.
Yeah, I was looking at that live line. I was thinking about betting Eagles, but I don't want to lose twice on the Eagles in the same game.
Yeah, that's fair.
They've already broken my heart already.
I used to do this thing, and I started during the Super Bowl year, and it turned out bad twice because, of course, we didn't lose. But I bet against the Eagles every playoff game so that if we win, I'm happy. But if we lose, I at least win money. So I'm like hedging my emotional health, basically.
That's a classic move. I call that the emo hedge. It's a classic,
Emo hedge?
it's a classic
Nice.
move. Yeah.
It's a great move.
It only didn't work the one year when we won all three of them, but I was happy. So I'll take that money loss for a Super Bowl win. But I should have done it today. I didn't have enough time this morning. But
Ooh, we get an Eagles stop here. Nice.
This is what I mean, though. Like the Buccaneers' offense is just completely slowed down.
Yep.
If the Eagles just like score one and make it 17-7, like they're in this game.
Oh yeah.
at this point, though, they should just run the ball all three plays. You got to stop passing the ball here. It just isn't going to work out.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Oh my
What?
God.
I think Peter's ahead of us on the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have taken it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Oh, that's
I don't.
yeah.
No. Yeah. That's a disaster. That's game.
Yeah,
Jalen
Peter.
Rager.
Can you
Should've
cut someone at
taken
halftime?
Oh.
Can we cut
Jalen
someone in the
Rager.
third quarter?
Oh, man.
Oh man,
That's tough. I wish I took it.
Jalen
You're
Rager
telling
with
me
the
every
fumble
time he
punt.
takes the field, Jalen Rager gets booed in Philly. Doesn't
Every
even
time he
actually
takes the
do
field to
anything.
return a punt, we boo him because he should be Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, that's Howie's been pretty good, but that was a really bad pick.
Yeah, I was telling Josh earlier. Back-to-back years, we picked J.J. Arcega-Whiteside instead of D.K. Metcalf, and Jalen Rager one pick ahead of Justin Jefferson. So, just every time he takes the field,
Is Arcega-Whiteside even on the team? They cut him before this year?
he is still on the roster somehow.
Oh, my
He
God.
might be inactive.
That's a classic trying to save face by keeping him on the roster. That's not
Or like you leak the information that he's a good special teams player or something like that.
Yeah,
Love to hear that.
yeah. He was inactive even when he was active. So
Yeah.
there we go. No, Jeff. This is not a Bucks fan from 2020. This is a Bucks fan from 1996 when I first started watching football. So
Don't you see his Warwick Dunn jersey?
Warwick Dunn, baby. Warwick Dunn.
I like Warwick Dunn. Shout out Warwick Dunn.
Falcons
You and I have a
legend.
mutual connection with
Former
Warwick
Falcon.
Dunn. Isn't he like in an ownership group? Or he's got something to do with the Falcons, like on a
Does he?
high level.
I heard he
Something like
like
that.
builds houses for poor people.
He
Which
does.
is like
Yeah, he's great community guy.
the most gangster thing I could ever think of.
That's been his charity his whole life. It's like because like his mom was like a police officer who got killed in the line of duty, and now it's like his whole thing where he's big in the community. Warwick Dunn's a good dude.
He was on the Falcons when I first started cheering for them back in like the 2004, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Homes for the holidays. Shout out Warwick Dunn.
Shout out
Yep.
Warwick Dunn. Did he start his career in Tampa and then ended his career in Tampa? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, he went Tampa, Atlanta, then Tampa. He left Tampa the year that they won the Super Bowl too, which sucked because he was part of all those Tony Dungy teams that eventually won the Super Bowl with Gruden. He's the one. He's the one that didn't get that ring, and that sucks because he was awesome.
He was
Him
also
and Mike
part of the
Wallstad?
DVD rushing attack on the Falcons. Dunn, T.J. Duckett, and Mike Vick.
Oh, yeah.
TJ Duckett. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Falcons
God.
legend. T.J.
Yeah.
Duckett.
Oh, I'm so bad at myself for not taking that 16. Oh,
Shouldn't have listened to me, man. Don't listen to me.
There
man.
he goes.
So Bucks at midfield, immediate 30-yard gain. Fantastic.
Not good.
listen, Ian, I'm listening to you because I'm not listening to myself right now. It's freaking putting my best bet on DeAndre and he gets hurt. It's a curse. Terrible.
Ooh, with a nasty stiff arm.
Brutal. Giovanni Bernard, all 5 feet of him, just stiff arming somebody.
Is any underdog going to win in the playoffs, or is it just going to be all favorites? All three of them
Cardinals
won
could win,
so
right?
far.
49ers today. And Cardinals on
49,
Monday.
49ers and Cardinals are interesting.
The Raiders kept it close at least. Although I feel like wasn't that spread 6 points, so they didn't cover
They
after
didn't
all.
cover, yeah. They
Yeah.
missed it by a point, yeah.
Yeah, I was sweating that Bengals -6 right to the end. It's like, God, that's how it always happens. I will say my favorite bet of the year was betting on the Ravens. Every single week they came through for me in one way or another. They were the most fun team to bet in 2021.
Did you stop betting them after like week 10, hopefully?
Well, I mean, I took them in teasers, so
Okay, all right.
I took some points, but
Nice, yeah. You can't fire Rich Bisaccia. There's no way.
Oh man.
So we got the Bucs at around the 35-yard line, 25-yard line.
All right.
This game is slowed to a crawl.
It started off really fast, but there's 3 points since the first quarter. It's not ideal.
Not a lot of score.
Ideal if you had the under. Very ideal if that was the case.
Well, here comes that wind and that weather that they've been talking about, which isn't going to speed up this game any.
No. But even in last year's playoff run, Brady wasn't immaculate. He just wins. Cameron Braid sighting. What's up with OJ Howard? Is he hurt?
No, he got a catch in the first quarter.
Okay.
So he has a pulse. It's not strong, but he's there. Yeah, if the Bucs score on this drive, Peter, that bet, it's just going to be even worse if you didn't make it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. They were up
3rd and 3.
Oh, man. I got to stop saying stuff because I'm ahead.
Pick 6. Here we go.
Oh!
All right, Mike Evans down to the 3. Fantastic. I'll get this score update graphic ready.
This is not looking good for the Eagles. At this point, it's like, just don't get shut out.
I think we got to go Gardner Minshew, right?
I'd go Gardner Minshew, go like 5 wide, 4 wide, and just let him sling it and see what happens. That's the only thing he can do.
Oh, Gronk wide open. What are we doing? I'm gonna regret that one. That was
wow.
There it is. Oh no.
This is a rough one, but we made it. We made it here.
I mean, hey man, this is first. If you told me Sirianni was going to get this team into the playoffs and I was an Eagles fan, I would have been pretty hyped. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year.
Yep.
It's fine. Playoff experience, right? Even if you get your head bashed in, it's still experience.
Where are the Eagles going to go in the draft? They're going to take a receiver for the 18th year in a row?
I'd go D-end, linebacker. We need talent on defense and pass rushers.
Yeah, Falcons need a pass rusher too. Bad. We had 18 total sacks this year as a team.
You guys were last in the league, and the Eagles were second last. But I feel like you guys had still like 10 less than we did somehow. All right.
Yeah, how many sacks TJ Watt get this year? 22.5, so 5.5 more than the Falcons did as an entire team. Yikes.
That's insane.
And he only played in like 14 or 15 or 16 games. He didn't even play the whole season.
Well, that was what made his record cool.
Right.
Because it
was it as many games as Michael Strahan, or was it one fewer than Strahan?
I think it was
fewer because he missed at least 2 games, right?
Yeah, he only played in 15 games. I'm looking at it right now.
So that's cool because like no one has an argument against him like being as good. It's like he missed some games. It's completely even. Other than that, Cooper Kupp's the only one that came close to a record.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
He didn't break it, right? He needed.
No, he got close. He didn't break either of the catch or the yards records.
Kyle Pitts almost broke the rookie receiving record for a tight end, but he had like 1 catch for 1 yard in the final game.
Well, he dealt with injuries too, correct?
Yeah, he missed at least 1 game, maybe 2.
And you guys were just lining him up at wide receiver by the end, correct?
Yeah, a lot of wide receiver. So he played in all 17 games. He only started 50. So yeah, he must have. He didn't kind of play the whole season. His targets were
Definitely
way
good.
down at the end of the year too.
Definitely a successful pick, though.
Yes.
I mean, the top couple picks in the draft, I think a lot of them hit, right? We got Jamar Chase, we got Pitts, we got Devontae Smith, we got Micah Parsons. There's some studs in this draft.
Pitts was definitely a success year one. It just didn't we had so many needs in our team, and it just didn't address any of them. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you just want to take the best player available, then he was a great pick.
Well, I mean, if you guys are going to lose Calvin Ridley too, I mean,
it's not looking like he's
receiving
coming back.
target.
Yeah.
Is he not coming back like he wants a trade, or is he just not playing football?
No, he wants out of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
The answer to this question is yes. Why the hell not?
I'm surprised they're not bringing him in. Like, it's 24-0.
Is he not going to come in this drive?
And Hurts hasn't been good. So it's like it's different if we were getting killed and he was at least like, I don't know, doing anything.
Maybe he will come in this drive.
What's our stat line for old Jalen Hurts? 126 yards. Somehow he's over 100 yards passing. I don't know
And
how
he's
much
back
of
in
that
the
is
game.
purposeful.
All right, get him to the fourth quarter. And my cousin just texted me, we need to put Minshew in. I think it's officially time.
I think everyone, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think
mutiny
we've seen
has
enough.
started. A Miles Sanders sighting. Run the ball 24 points too late.
I wonder if it's like to the optics of it's a playoff game and you take Hurts out for Minshew. Like, Philly isn't necessarily the calmest sports market out there. So, I mean, that's off-season, that's talk radio off-season fodder. So,
my argument against that is it's going to anyway. It's going to be a topic regardless, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's our favorite QB in Philly is the backup QB. So
got resident 49ers fan, Hunter Armour, coming in off the top rope. 49ers in Green Bay next week.
I would love nothing more than to see that.
Yeah, Peter and Ian, if it's 49ers Green Bay next week, am I crazy for betting on the 49ers to win that game?
I'll be all over the 49ers in that matchup. I think they match up. So I think that's like the worst stylistic matchup for Green Bay is the 49ers.
Yep.
I think that's the last team they want to face in the playoffs.
So it's a horrible matchup for the Packers. I want the Packers to win because I really want like a Mahomes-Rodgers Super Bowl or something like that, since we didn't get it during the regular season. But it's a horrible matchup for the Packers. Their run defense is bad. The 49ers are going to run the ball a ton. Like, it's not ideal. I'm sure they wish that Philly was able to win this game because it would have made their lives so much easier. Not have to face the 49ers and you don't have to face the Bucs. Would have been amazing. But
I wondered for a little bit there in the season if Shanahan's style had become too predictable with run the ball, crossing route. But it seems like they get enough yards after the catch where it doesn't even matter. Like, just get somebody in open space, and it seems like everyone on that team is a running back after they catch the ball. And Deebo Samuel, who's actually a running back. Ooh.
Ooh.
Do we think he was early?
I don't know. As bad as the officiating's been this weekend, that's truly, it could go either way.
All right, fourth down. Fourth and 3.
Go. Ooh, and another pick.
Picked.
Minshew.
Minshew. All right, here
Let's
we
go.
go.
Shaq Barrett, though. There we go. Shaq Barrett making an appearance. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap on Hurts' playoff debut.
Yeah, bring in Minshew.
Gotta go Minshew next.
2 picks, $133. Come on.
To avoid talking about this awful performance by my team, going back to the first round of the draft being awesome, the first 15 picks, everyone who's not a QB for the most part is excellent, at least rookie year so far. Like if you didn't pick a QB, you probably got a Pro Bowler in the top 15 this year. Or last year, I guess. 4 Pro Bowlers. Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, Waddle, Surtain, Pitts, Chase. There's a lot of names.
Yep.
Wow.
Micah Parsons, where'd he get selected?
12.
15, was it? 12, yeah.
Yeah. And then Slater, who's a great left tackle for the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think J.C. Horn got hurt, but even Sewell was good for the Lions.
Yeah, he was.
I wonder if the trade up for the QB that doesn't deserve to get picked there will ever stop.
Probably not. The question is who's going to be that guy this year? Because it happens every single year. Somebody's going to trade up for somebody that does not deserve to be picked.
I think whoever goes the first quarterback, unless they go like middle of the first round, probably doesn't deserve to be picked where they get picked. I don't think there's anybody like, I mean, you like look at last year's draft and it was like 5 guys. You're like, you can make an argument for probably everybody within the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Kenny. I think Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, like I think they're fine. I just don't think they're like franchise changing. Like nobody's ever had them as that. So if somebody takes one, like if the Texans or the Lions or somebody takes somebody top 5, like it's a reach, but you also need a quarterback. So it's hard.
And Kenny Pickett with the spineless fake slide to this day.
Yeah.
I hate that move. I'm glad they immediately were like, yeah, you can't be doing that.
I respect it. Wasn't against the rules at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I just, as if playing defense wasn't hard enough.
Yeah, you find a loophole, expose it. Close the loophole. Be the reason the loophole closes.
Exactly.
He's a revolutionary.
Oh, God almighty.
Ooh, Brady again.
Oh, the minus 16, Peter.
And the flip.
Oh, my God.
It was an absolute lock. I should have did it. Oh, man.
Low-hanging fruit was there for you.
Oh, man.
Wow. Good Lord. The Eagles are terrible. Yeah, Jalen, let's at this point, I don't know if you take your starters out in a playoff game, but I would consider it. Considering especially how banged up that offensive line is, like it's what 31-0. The Eagles are not coming back in this game. I would say maybe fourth quarter start thinking about it. You don't do it in the third quarter with 5 minutes left, but we're reaching that point.
Go full bye week. Go full bye week. Bench everyone.
We are getting close.
And yes, Hunter, the Eagles are awful. Whew.
Here I was
going on this much zone against Brady.
Every radio show and podcast I did this week, I gave out Eagles money line. Yikes! Not good.
Just lighting money on fire.
I got a little too cute with it.
Ooh, man, not great. Not great.
Well, I teased the Bills up to plus 10.5 last night, and I felt pretty good about it.
Wow.
And then the game was 5 minutes in, and I was like, now I feel very bad about this. I thought 10.5 points for the Patriots. I was like, this is a gift. 10.5 points. There's no way they don't get that.
Oh, yeah. Ian wrote a story today. If you want to talk about it, you can. But it's the first time in a while a teaser didn't cover in that spot.
Yeah, 19 straight wild card games where if you teased the underdog, it would have hit. And the Patriots broke that streak last night. So bad time to tease the underdog last night.
Wow.
Story of my betting life.
Yeah, underdogs have like dominated Wildcard weekend for a while now, so maybe this is kind of a weekend where favorites are kind of due.
And Philly had covered 11 of the last 12 playoff spreads, so they were due for a blowout as well.
Oof. The weather is looking gnarly there in Tampa. It's not what you wanted for the Eagles.
I mean, you got to go Minshew here.
If they don't go Minshew, I don't know what to tell you.
I feel like if they go Minshew, the optics look really, really bad on Jalen Hurts.
I mean, the optics already look pretty bad, right?
That's true. I just think, like, I don't know. Is there another quarterback that you would bench like in this spot? You know what I mean? Like if we go through like any other playoff team, like maybe Garoppolo, but that's because he's hurt. Like, is there any other playoff team that benches their starting quarterback no matter what the score is? I don't know. It would look kind of bad.
Roethlisberger, right? That would be the worst one, but you can't bench him.
Yeah, I don't even know if they have a better option than him, which says a lot. Considering
and then Hurts might be hurt, so maybe you don't have a choice now.
There you go.
And now we're wow.
Look at Arians. Oh my God.
Wow.
I love
Bruce Arians at right tackle for Tristan Wirfs.
Right?
That's up there with Michael Jordan smacking Malik Monk in the head.
He smacked him. What?
Wow. Oh God.
I have no words.
Oh my God.
This
is speculation, but if let's say Jalen Hurts got hurt last week or 2 weeks ago, last time we played, Gardner Minshew plays this game. Is it a closer game, do you think?
It could probably be closer because he's a better passer, but our defense has been shredded. They've stopped the run game. Maybe we have 10 points if he starts. Just not enough talent. Well, we got our meme. We got our social viral clip of the day with Bruce Arians going Mike Tyson.
I love it.
God, there's still so much time left, and this game is still so over. It's a statement by the Bucs, man. I didn't think the Bucs were going to be as tough of an out with all those guys hurt, but nope, they are.
They stumbled down the stretch of the regular season a bit too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we think there's any chance in hell that Todd Bowles or Leftwich doesn't get a head coaching job this offseason?
I think they'll both have opportunities. It's just a question of like, do you want to coach the Jags or would you rather be the OC on a Super Bowl contender next year? Like that's almost like Eric Bieniemy. We've seen Eric Bieniemy turn down jobs because he was like, I don't want to coach the Texans.
Which jobs did he turn down?
He turned down a bunch the last couple of years where he was in the running and he either withdrew himself or like he didn't take interviews for certain jobs because it just wasn't. He also didn't get a couple I think that he wanted to get, but I don't think he went after some of the teams that just kind of have nobody because it's like, I don't know. If I was Byron Leftwich, unless I really, really wanted to coach Trevor Lawrence, I might just ride out the rest of Tom Brady's career, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's also a question, too, of like, who is Arians going to hand the reins to? Because I might stick around and be like, if I'm Todd Bowles, maybe I don't take a job somewhere else because, defensive-minded head coaches aren't necessarily that successful in this day and age as head coaches. Stick around, get your head coach job in Tampa. Or Leftwich for that matter too. It's like maybe you just stick around and wait it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much sentimentality he has from playing in Jacksonville for however many years. I don't know if that matters at all. It just looks nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be cool if he went there, but they're like when you look at those bad jobs, there's like two ways you can look at it. You can look at it as like there's no chance we're making the playoffs. You can also look at it as like anything Byron Leftwich does cannot be worse than what Urban Meyer did. He literally has the bar is set in the basement. Like, he cannot be worse. If they just go there and they're a competent like organization, it's a win for him. So if that's where you're looking at it from, like, you can be successful there to a certain extent, but I don't know. I would prefer competing for a Super Bowl than competing for like 4 wins.
Just take the plane home with your team after every game, and you've already done more
There you go.
than expected.
Doing the bare minimum is considered an upgrade.
Just after every game, just go home, and you're already ahead.
It's unreal.
Yeah, if I was Bulls or Leftwich, I'd probably stick around Tampa just to see what happens. Also, if you go to Jacksonville, I mean, I don't know what Tennessee looks like in a couple of years in Indianapolis, but that's not a easy division.
No.
So, and who knows what happens with Houston? Like, let's say Deshaun Watson does come back and they get somebody who actually, knows what they're doing. All of a sudden, Houston's good, and that division isn't as terrible as it was this past year.
It's just
it's weird because like the Bears job you'd think would be a good one too because they got a young QB and like a defense that's worth something, but then there's also the pressure of that fan base. Like that fan base gives a damn.
Oh, Eddie's coming in hot off the top rope. Not a starting quarterback, nothing but a backup. There we go. There's the Philly fire. It's starting to burn.
It's still not the time to make an argument against that, unfortunately. Thank you, Jack. I see you.
So that's the only win the Eagles are getting today. Somebody agreeing with your points, Sean.
Yeah, solid. I'm going to be honest. That's my first cousin, so I appreciate him riding for family on this one.
Yeah, that Bears job, though, I think that's one of the better jobs out there. And if I'm Brian Flores, like I know he wants to coach Deshaun Watson, but like, look, we had no idea what's going on off the field with him. So like, you don't know if he's going to play next year, if he comes back, if he's going to get suspended. But if you and if the Bears knew what they were doing, they would hire Flores because he comes in and he immediately changes the culture. And that's what the Bears didn't have with Matt Nagy. It was just like they were there. It wasn't a whole lot more. But with Flores, I feel like you could get some of that Monsters of the Midway energy in there where it's like you've got a tough, snarling team, a defensive guy. So I don't know. If they knew what they were doing, they'd go out and get Flores.
And the Broncos job is perfect if you get a QB. But that's obviously up in the air.
Yep.
Broncos job's been perfect if you got a QB for the past 5 years. They just never got the quarterback.
You could say that for the Vikings too, to be honest. I don't know where Kirk Cousins' contract is at currently, but their team has a lot of talent too.
I feel if you're the Vikings, though, you just tear it down and rebuild. That team is some bitches. Since like Randall Cunningham, they've just been band-aiding the quarterback position. And it's like, oh, we'll just find the right guy to like get this window. It's like Dante Culpepper was the last time they tried to draft. Well, Christian Ponder. But like 2 quarterbacks in the last like 30 years that you've drafted to be the franchise guy. And only one of them was like halfway decent. But then Culpepper like blew out his knee. But like just tear it down because you look at the timeline that the Vikings are on, they're not going to be competing with the Packers as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. It's pointless to try and patch together something because look how well that's worked. Never. So just like tear it down, rebuild, and then your timeline of everybody developing is going to line up when Rodgers leaves. And then you're betting on Jordan Love not being that great. And I'll take that bet at this point. Or at least not being as good as Rodgers.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad. He's been pretty awful. I think it's weird though. Like if you think of like the most successful team the Vikings have put together, Case Keenum was the QB.
Yes.
Like such a weird. I mean, I guess it took a miracle for them to get to the NFC Championship, like a literal miracle for them to get that far. But, and what? Like they've gone through Sam Bradford,
Mm-hmm.
Who honestly reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins in his play style. But Jalen Hurts going deep.
Oh, going for it all.
And he overthrows it by 10 yards. It's nice to be so numb to terrible plays that didn't hurt at all. It's nice.
It's a long throw, to be fair.
Yeah.
Showed off a bit of arm strength at least.
Yeah.
I don't know which way is the wind blowing.
Yeah.
The wind,
Hopefully
is the wind to his back?
the Madden guys are watching. Let's add some arm strength.
I will say though, as a Bucs fan, between the two NFC East wildcard games that we had to play, I prefer this one to the Washington game last year. I was sweating Taylor Heineke derailing everything.
That was a really good game.
This is like a preseason game.
Oh,
Come on. Jeez.
What team in the NFC worries you the most as a Bucs fan? Is it obviously the Packers?
Green
Is
Bay.
there another team? Is there another team outside the Packers?
No, it's really just kind of, I would say Green Bay. But even then, it's like everybody's talking about how they can't go into Lambeau and win. It's like, oh, the Packers have the 1 seed. They're going to have to come through here in the frozen tundra. It's like, yeah, we did that last year. And it was,
Right.
Granted, Matt LaFleur, big-time assist, kicking it and not going for it. But I agree with the 49ers take, though. I think that they're a pretty sneaky pick. Kicking myself. Peter, you don't have to feel so bad about missing out on bets. I took, week 15, 14 or 15, I bet on 49ers conference championship winner. And I was like, let's throw around $5 on it. Like, the odds were crazy high. And then I cashed it out like a couple weeks ago because they're not going to make the playoffs. So I'll just take my $5 back and I'll bet it on something else. So 49ers are sneaky. I like them. I've liked them for a while, so they freak me out a little bit. For all the reasons stated, like Shanahan, he can scheme you. So that's tricky.
And this might be just a comparison to Trey Lance, but I mean, every time Jimmy G is healthy, they do make a run.
Mhm.
Like, he just hasn't been healthy consistently. I mean, he's not healthy now, but at least he did gut through whatever his thumb injury is. It didn't look like it completely affected him towards the second half of that game.
Yeah, Dallas doesn't freak me out too much. I mean, they beat them already, but Dan Quinn in the playoffs, I'll bet on that all day, every day to go down. The Rams are tricky, but they looked so bad at the end of the season. I was nervous about the Rams heading into the home stretch of the playoff chase, but just how bad they looked in the last couple of weeks, it doesn't freak me out too much. I mean, I guess we'll see what we see tomorrow as far as what they look like against Arizona. Cardinals, maybe. Just because you never know what you're going to get with Kyler in that air raid offense. Like, it's either going to really work or you're going to get a game like you had against the Lions where it's just like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
The Rams just come down to whether or not Matt Stafford's going to throw an interception or 2 or 3. If he doesn't throw interceptions, the Rams will beat anybody. But
Yep.
not only does he throw interceptions, he throws them at the worst possible time and like at the worst possible area of the field.
Yep.
I think he's thrown 8 in the last 4 games or something like that. Is there a chance that trade was a terrible idea? Like, do we really think that Jared Goff would be worse than this?
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of stuff about
Jared Goff would throw just as many interceptions, but Matthew Stafford, when he's on it, not throwing interceptions, he's playing very well. It's just he throws too many bad picks.
Like, I've heard a lot of stuff about, like, Jared Goff didn't read both sides of the field. He had 1-2 progression and then check down, and Stafford can read the whole field and go through progressions. But I mean, it's been bad. And you could say, like, I feel like I've heard the he's hurt excuse, but you got to stop using that. He's playing.
Yeah. I'll still take Stafford over Goff all day, every day.
I mean, it did take probably the worst officiating call in the history of the NFL to get them to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, but he made it there.
Didn't do much more after he got there, but he made it there.
Scored, what, 3 points?
All right, 15 merciful minutes left in this game.
All right, Vaughn. Taken down in the backfield. Could this be the start of a comeback?
There is nothing I would love to see more than Tom Brady blowing a 31-point fourth quarter lead.
That would mean we'd have to score points on offense. So I don't know if that's going to happen. But
Maybe just come within 16 points. So Peter doesn't feel so bad about not taking that bet.
Yeah, that one's man. That would have been nice. Would have been nice.
that's at least within reach. What's that? I'll root for that now. Just to be let down again.
Ooh. Cry, Eagles, cry. Oh, and from it looks to be a Cowboys fan too, dancing on the grave.
Oh, yeah,
That could be a reap what you sow type of moment here. We don't know what they're going to do with the 49ers.
last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, I couldn't use the bathroom by myself, so I don't need to say much more than that. But yes, I'm crying on the inside. That does seem to be the team that the upset that everyone's taking, which makes me a little worried. Like everyone loves the Niners, which
Yeah.
All right, we forced a punt. Positives.
The only positive is that the clock is going down and it's getting closer to 0. That's the only positive right now. Oof.
Jalen Reagor returning a punt.
All right.
I wonder if there's enough Eagles fans in the stadium to boo him at this point.
The question is whether or not the Eagles are going to get a point. Are they going to get shut out? Like, they're not going to win. That's pretty much, we can be pretty sure about that prediction. But are they going to get a point? And I don't know. Because you're not taking a field goal at this point. The points have to be a touchdown.
They might do a sad field goal just so they don't get shut out.
The old dress up the scoreboard. That's why I don't want to take.
Teams have done that before.
I'm sure that would go over well in Philly. Waving the white flag.
I'll take the sad field goal. That's fine with me.
Well, the bar has been set very low for the remainder of these games this weekend as far as being entertaining. Even the game last night was it felt like there was a certain pace to it. Like the Patriots were never really in it, but this just kind of feels like, all right, let's go. Let's wrap it up.
Also, last night was just kind of fun watching the Patriots get just destroyed, since that is not something we're used to in the playoffs. So there was that aspect of it where it was just 20 years of watching the Patriots dominate. It was a little nice to see them get dominated for once.
And it was the complete opposite of the last time they played in the cold and the wind.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Steelers could make a. I know I keep saying the under, but this game could be exactly like Chiefs Steelers.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of banking on this 49ers game to be a good one.
It's the Nickelodeon game. It's got to be a good one. The bar has been set high. Who's going to surpass the great the MVP Mitchell Trubisky and claim the crown? It's got to be. They should make it like the Masters, where it's the green jacket. You put it on the new guy. It's like Trubisky should be there and hand off the MVP.
Orange
to the
jacket.
next guy. Make him walk it down like they do with the Lombardi Trophy at the Super Bowl. Make it a thing.
He's got to walk down a bucket of slime and dump it on somebody. What a great idea, honestly. What a nostalgic, creative broadcast. Ooh, Devontae Smith picking up yards after the catch.
Come on,
It's almost like they should have been thrown to him all game.
That's a revolutionary idea. Sean, I mean, come on. Give it to your best player? What are you talking about? Come on.
It's outrageous. What kind of armchair quarterback logic is that? Come on.
All right, now I'm feeling a little bit better. Feeling a little bit better about not taking that 16.
Just need Devontae Smith to score a touchdown. Oh. Well, there goes the shutout.
Here we go. Let's go.
That was a mailed-in defensive drive if I've ever seen one.
31-point comeback is still in the books. Here we go. Now we need a fumble on the kickoff, return for a touchdown, possibly twice in a row.
Well, still just holding out for that Devonta Smith touchdown. Let's go. Keep my outrageous touchdown parlay alive.
Who else do you have in it, Josh?
It's Kittle in the next game, Byron Pringle in the Sunday night game,
Ooh.
and then Tyler Higbee tomorrow. Because they were all like plus 200 odds. So I was like, what the hell? Why not? Throw down $1 on it to win like $300.
Oh, wow. Hey.
And then, yeah, because it was Dawson Knox yesterday.
Okay.
So,
Oh, man. So that's
check that one.
All right. So Devonta Smith. You never know. A little garbage time.
I was anticipating the Eagles maybe showing up a little bit more to this game. So.
I'll humor the Cowboys fan. How are the Eagles like my neighbors? They can't pick up a single yard.
They picked up a lot of yards on that last run.
What's the my timing is solid on this one. What's the difference between the dollar bill and the Eagles? You can still get 4 quarters out of a dollar. Solid.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Solid. What are you gonna do? I can only hope that the Niners do me right tonight.
Big sis Lisa checking in. Lisa, I hope you're not an Eagles fan because you're checking in at the wrong time. It's a little late.
Need to pick me up. Although we can still cover Josh's bet. We just need Devontae Smith.
Let's go. Not looking good though.
Don't know what else to say. Josh, if you were to buy another Bucs jersey, who are you buying off this team that's not Brady?
Antoine Winfield Jr. all day, every day. Love that guy.
Going for the young upside play.
Young upside. Well, plus he went to University of Minnesota. So as a Minnesota kid, there's some nice connection there. Plus, as I've said, giving us one of the most iconic Super Bowl moments, the moment of catharsis, the peace sign right in Tyreek Hill's face. That was as if winning the Super Bowl was not already good enough. That was just the chef's kiss to the blowout. Love that guy.
If I were to get a Falcons jersey right now, I think I got to go Young Ho Koo, their kicker.
Hey, got to get the best player on the team, right?
He's fantastic. He's unbelievable. You can't miss.
He is awesome. All reliable. Great in fantasy.
I think he only missed like 1 or 2 kicks all year.
He was great because there was a part of the year where I was taking these weird like special teams bets where it's like, over 1.5 field goals. And it's like he's always good for those. He always cashes those.
Yeah, he only missed 2 field goals all year, 27 for 29.
Yep.
Last year he was 37 for 39. He's a fantastic kicker.
Ian, what do you think? You like Matt Ryan next year back, or would you like them to just?
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
Quarterback's one of the only positions that the Falcons don't need right now. Like, we literally need everything else except for a quarterback, and I know the fan base is going to beg them to take a quarterback in the draft, and that would be the stupidest thing ever. Build the team first. Let Matt Ryan he has 2-3 decent years left. Build the team first, and then bring in the quarterback last.
Yeah,
I agree with that point.
I was wondering if they were gonna Matthew Stafford him this offseason and trade him somewhere.
It's possible. Arthur Smith has come out though and said that one of the reasons he took the Falcons job was so he could play have Matt Ryan for 2 to 3 years. So
yeah,
they seem content on keeping him, but who knows if that'll stay true or not.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a couple of pretty good years left in him. And it's there's no great quarterback in this class. So maybe if you want to take one next year. And that seems like the perfect sit behind Matt Ryan, learn from him type of job.
Yeah.
I don't think a rookie is coming in and changing everything for the Falcons. But
right. The quarterback was not their issue this year. He was the most pressured quarterback in the NFL, and he was still had a pretty solid year.
Yeah. Yeah, get some defensive help in the draft. Stay away from
need a pass rusher for sure. AJ Terrell's fantastic corner, but he's by himself out there. So even a corner to play on the other side of the field than him would be nice. Pass rusher is definitely a number one need, though. And there's a few good pass rushers.
Yeah. What pick do the Falcons have?
8.
Okay. You can definitely get somebody there.
Big sis Lisa, looking forward to the Nickelodeon broadcast. The Nickelodeon broadcast is low-key awesome. I'm not a big fan of the Monday night Wildcard game, but getting that Nickelodeon broadcast in there is pretty good.
The Monday night Wildcard game is kind of weird too. You're giving a team a disadvantage, short rest next week. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know who would have wanted that.
It's
other than the NFL itself. There's no way players enjoy that.
We do get the Manning cast tomorrow, though. So that's the upshot.
Oh, that's true.
Manning cast. I think their big guest is they're having The Rock on there. Well, Dwayne Johnson coming through.
Hope they have Brady on there. Oh, actually, no, Josh, not for you, but that would have been nice to have Brady on there. Get him bounced.
Nope. Don't need that Manning curse. I don't need that bad juju.
What they should do.
What was it? 0-7 this year, guys who were on the Manning broadcast. Is that what it was? The next week.
Even Rodgers, because Rodgers went on and then he lost to the Lions. Well, the Packers did. He played a half, but
they should put 2 guys on that are going to face each other next week. If they had Mahomes and Allen on, just so they could keep the streak going. It's we'll know it's going to stay now.
Who's it going to be? I love that. Although we get the Manning cast on the Monday night broadcasts, why can't we get that Nickelodeon broadcast for Thursday night? Because those games are usually terrible. But if we have the Nickelodeon broadcast we have the Manning cast, where you can still watch the Joe Buck, Troy Aikman feed, but you can switch over to that Nickelodeon one. I'd take
you mean during the regular season?
Yeah, during the regular season.
Yeah. I like that idea. Because those Thursday night games sometimes are stinkers.
Yeah.
At least we should be able to get some slime or something.
Right. Well, you had to be subjected to that with the Falcons Patriots game on Thursday night. That was rough.
That was one of the lowest points of my life as a sports fan. I took a shot every time that they mentioned 28-3, and I was pretty tipsy by the time the game was over.
Oh boy, this game just needs to end.
The
Hurts is still in there too. They're just not going to go to Minshew. Just not going to Minshew. It's not going to happen.
So I see nothing change while I left. That's great.
No, you did miss Derek Barnett taking a cheap shot at Tom Brady after a play and then getting into his face and yelling stuff at him. Oh, yeah.
I actually missed that. Wow. That's so on brand. I thought that was a joke.
Yep. It happened.
Wow. Class act, that guy.
I want to know what he was saying to him because it looked like he was saying, like, come on, man. It's just like, what the hell do you want?
Stop it. We give up. Stop it.
8 minutes left. Good Lord. Still time for a Devonta Smith touchdown. Let's go. It
He's
seems that
fighting
they
for it.
are now throwing to him like they were throwing to Goddard in the first quarter. So, fingers crossed.
I just had to shuffle through 6 different barf emojis from different family members. So it's going to be a fun week here on Talk Radio. I got one of the guy who's crying but wearing the mask that isn't crying, so that was good. Thank you for joining us, Peter. It's been real.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Sean, I'm sorry. Josh, congrats.
Till next week.
Yeah, till next week.
$11 targets for Goddard.
And only 5 catches.
Good
Not
Lord.
not a great split.
We're in the past midfield again, though. So, nothing like a little garbage time movement.
Comeback still alive, guys. Comeback still alive. Here we go.
It is.
I mean, at this point, I just want Devontae Smith to score.
right?
Oh, that's right.
That's really all that needs to happen here.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I was like, oh, deep pass, and it's 8 feet over his head. Not Hurts' best day.
No.
Not
And
that it
that's the
matters.
deep pass
but
that you throw to Smith, too. Don't throw it to
Yeah.
Watkins, throw it to Smith.
Is Richard Sherman done for the year? Like, is he just done?
I think he's eligible to come back for the Super Bowl if they get there. But he's not playing in any of the other playoff games. And the
I
big
heard he's
question is
just
going to be if
coaching now.
Leonard Fournette is activated before next week because he's still on IR.
All right, well, we're certainly getting Devontae Smith his targets now.
Yeah, that Steelers Chiefs game has all the makings to be like this one.
They definitely have a better defense, but their QB is just about as good, I would say.
maybe the
I really
seventh
don't
seed
get
in
it.
the playoffs. Maybe having 7 teams in the playoffs each conference was a bad idea after all.
Right?
I don't remember the 2 versus 7 games last season though. Maybe they were closer.
Let's check it out. Well, they wouldn't have, the second seed would have had a bye, right?
Yeah.
Not last year. Didn't they start this playoff format last year?
No, this is the first year they're doing this. Who do we have? Just come on, Devonta Smith. Let's go. No, because Green Bay and New Orleans had first round buys last year.
New Orleans, wow.
Well, we had a.
No, we did do this last year.
Oh, yeah, we did do this last year. Yeah. Yeah, because New Orleans and Chicago. Okay, that was 21-9. That was a 2-7. Buffalo, Indianapolis, though, was 27-24, so that was a little closer.
Oh, was that the 2-7 game last year for AFC?
Yep.
Yeah,
That was a good
so
game.
that was a good game at least then.
Because Bears Saints was awful, but
That was also the Nickelodeon game.
it was.
The saving grace.
Even in a loss, Nickelodeon MVP, Mr. Trubisky.
The Buffalo-Baltimore game was pretty stinky last year too. That was 17-3. I guess Green Bay beat the Rams 32-18. Oh, it's not Devonta Smith.
Another touchdown? Just
Yep.
not Devontae Smith.
Kenny Gainwell finds the end zone.
Wow.
Is Peter's bet still in play?
Depends on if they go for 2. If they just kick the extra point, they're still up 17.
Yep.
We got money on the line.
Ooh, did he get in? Oh, yeah, he's in. Well, they're going for 2.
Exactly.
This is it.
says
This
Lisa.
would have been the bet.
Touchdown Eagles. I wish we had a game here.
Oh, they're going for 2. Peter would have lost his bet if they make this. Or did you guys already see the result?
Oh, get in there. Get it. Oh, he stopped. What are you doing, man? Oh, they got it. Of course, that's where Devonta Smith gets a catch in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Not the Come on.
So what? You onside kick this? Like, does it matter that? I guess you got to keep fighting.
Maybe.
So
you
yeah,
onside kick it here.
Peter's bet would have pushed if there's no more scores. So because they're up 16 now.
Wow. Well, this is the other thing I didn't want. The Bucks finishing this game sloppy going into next week. You just want to finish it strong. You get this?
You got to imagine their focus is probably gone at this point, though, at least.
Oh, probably.
If there's an excuse.
Gets the 2-point conversion, but not the touchdown. Come on. 9 targets for Smith, 60 yards, 4 receptions. Maybe you want a little bit more out of him.
The kid is a bright spot. Oh, that is a hell of an elbow brace.
I was going to say that is quite the brace. What are we doing? We outside kicking it here?
I guess you have to.
And a terrible onside kick.
All right. With the switch direction, and not even close. Not even close.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's start kneeling, Brady.
See, I wish Peter would have bet on that minus 16, because then we would have something to root for here. We'd be like, let's get some points. Now it just doesn't matter.
We can still get a Smith touchdown.
That's true. It's in play. So we got 4:44 left. Jay-Z's least favorite number, 4:44.
The sad texts keep pouring in. They need to put Minshew in, dead and gone. This game is killing me.
Ooh, it is not good. Well, Verderame and Patrick and the Arrowhead Attic crew are doing a live one for the Chiefs game, so hopefully theirs is a little bit more exciting than this one was.
Yeah. And at least they're all on the Chiefs side, so they'll all be upbeat
That's
and
true.
energetic.
Or they'll all be down together because the Steelers shocked the world.
That is true. Pull a Tim Tebow. Slam.
That would be incredible. In Arrowhead. Ooh, Scotty Miller.
Sliding down inbounds.
Nice.
Smart
There he
guy.
knows. That's the
Smart
guy who knows
guy.
if he wants to go home. 265 for Brady, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. All right.
The old end around. Yeah, I really Brady's been on autopilot for 2.5 quarters. All right. Well, at least a Dallas loss would be a nice way to cap off this day, at least.
I like that. As much as I would like a Mike McCarthy revenge game in Lambeau, I think the playoffs might be a little bit more interesting if San Francisco, a true wild card, keeps kind of causing some chaos. Also because I want them to beat the Packers. I think that would be hilarious.
I mean, if you're Rodgers, though, I know he wants to leave, but like, team is still awesome. Unless you're going to like, which he won't go to Cleveland, but like, isn't that the only roster with as much talent?
Well, it's just like, yeah, where are you going to go? Like, you've got Devontae Adams already.
Yeah,
There's
Denver?
no real.
yeah.
Denver would be interesting. But that's the thing, though. Why would you leave a division in which you go through Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and whatever quarterback they're throwing out in Chicago when you've got to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year? Herbert, you don't want to play him because he's tricky. And then Derek Carr, like 1 out of every 2 times, is dangerous.
Yeah, and then even in the AFC North, if you go to like Cleveland, which is an awesome roster, you got to play Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, and even the Steelers are usually pretty good. So he's got to go to Jacksonville, is what we're saying. Bad division, warm weather.
Tennessee. I bet Tennessee would take him over Ryan Tannehill.
Indy would take him.
Ooh, Indy's
interesting. Good call too. Yeah,
that is interesting. If you're Rodgers too, maybe you do prefer Indy because you get to play 8 games indoors. So,
Although I feel like the cold it doesn't affect him visibly as much as a lot of QBs. Like you can tell he don't want to get hit.
yeah,
I feel like he's good in the cold usually. All good rosters, honestly. Those are probably the 3 best rosters that he would go to.
He's interesting.
It would certainly make listening to the Pat McAfee show more entertaining, as if that's possible.
Maybe that's the end. Maybe that's the rumor we can start. It's the connection. Pat McAfee and Aaron Rodgers, the Indianapolis connection.
Pat McAfee unretiring to play with Aaron Rodgers in Indianapolis.
Although if Peyton Manning buys the Broncos and then Aaron Rodgers comes, Manning and Rodgers, that'd be interesting.
Is that in motion? Peyton Manning buying the Broncos, or at least like ownership group?
Yeah, I think he's part of some ownership group because they were saying like, I don't think he can do the Manning cast if he becomes an owner. So this could be like a one and done Manning cast year, tear in the rain, so to speak.
They'll just have Eli Manning and Snoop Dogg from now on. That'll be fine.
I just found out that Snoop Dogg has like a post-game show on Peacock every Sunday night.
Really?
It's like him and Blake Shelton, which is like the weirdest combination ever.
I've seen the one at the Olympics with him and Kevin Hart. That's hilarious. Maybe we get that going. All right, time dwindling away. 2 minutes and 20 seconds and counting.
Bucks are probably going to score one more time.
And then we have one more shot at the Devontae Smith touchdown.
Unless they get a first down here, then they'll just run out the clock. So
that's true.
Less than ideal. However, those touchdown props, it's like they're just a shot in the dark. Putting down
like
a Bucks to win 300.
Kind of.
The Patriots last night, that's what killed all my bets, all my parlays. I either had Patriots plus no more than 10 points, or I had the under 49. Tough. So, Rams coming to Tampa next week. That'll be interesting. So, first time it was in LA. Didn't go the way that the Bucks wanted it to. Coming out to Tampa, though, we'll see how that goes. I don't hate it.
I'm going to be cheering against the Buccaneers. I apologize, but
well, you have to.
I have to.
I mean, I wouldn't be rooting for the Falcons. God knows I never
Yeah,
root for the
exactly.
Saints when they're in the playoffs. So
Yeah. And it's the extra whammy with Tom Brady on the team. I can't do it. I can't do it.
that's the thing too. Yeah, the extra whammy with Brady. Because every time people hate on Brady on Twitter whenever he's doing rough, I'm just like, we're collateral damage. Because nobody's actually outside of like, a Falcons fan or something, nobody's like actually mad at the Bucs. It's like the national audience hates Brady. We are just the conduit through which the Brady hate is filtered.
And I have special hate for Brady. So I'm obviously a Falcons fan. My dad is a big diehard Rams fan. So our family's 0-3 against Brady in Super Bowls.
Ugh.
Actually, the first football game I ever watched in my life was the first Super Bowl Rams against Patriots back like 2000 or 2001.
Oof.
So I started my career off as a football fan hating Tom Brady.
That's
and here we
tough.
are like 20 years later and he's still winning Super Bowls.
I will say, I think he's gotten more likable since coming to the Bucs, for sure.
I mean, I'm biased, so I was like, yeah, I feel like I've done a 180 on him completely.
Fair.
But it does feel like he's kind of got like fun uncle energy, and he didn't really have that in New England. Like he's not stumbling off of any duck boats drunk the way that he was last year, or in New England, but.
Well, what I've had to kind of do is I always made the argument that he was like a system quarterback and he won because of his defenses. And I used to say he's not the greatest quarterback of all time. But then he goes to Tampa Bay at 43 years old and wins another Super Bowl. It's like, all right, I guess like I don't have any more arguments left. I guess he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, you gotta be at this point. I loved the shop episode with him was amazing. Just hearing him curse and say the F word that was enough for me.
Well, he's like in commercials now and stuff. It's like the Subway commercials and like the crypto commercials. I don't feel like I saw him in any, TV ads when he was in New England.
He was in a weird.
Although Belichick's doing commercials too, so who knows? What were you saying, Sean?
He was in a weird watch commercial. I think that was the only one I ever saw him in. But then even you got him and Gronkowski in like the baby pools, right? Isn't that like a thing now?
Yeah.
He's definitely got goofy uncle energy now.
The Gronk commercials are great. I love that he's on the same couch in like the 4 different commercials he's in. And it was just like one day. He's like, yep, everybody come over to my house and we'll do these all in one shot. And he just rips them all off from the same couch. Doesn't matter who it was for. I just love that. Such a flex.
Oh, the trying to get like a military discount or whatever he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to sign off and let you guys close things out here. So thanks for having me.
Thanks
Gosh, I would say
on.
go Bucks next week, but I have made it clear I will be rooting against the Bucks.
I respect it. I respect it.
All right, guys, thanks for having me on. Yeah, take care.
See you later. All right. The last minute and 11 melts off the clock here. Unless we get this first down. Nope.
Oh, your touchdown prop. Here we go.
We're playing for the Devonta Smith touchdown. Come on. It's all we got here.
I've sunken this far, but now we're dreaming.
This is not at all what I expected out of this game. This was barely interesting to watch.
Yeah, and like really fast. Within 5 minutes, the feeling in your stomach, and my dog's even angry about it.
I know.
It's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate we weren't able to run the ball, and then penalties, just stupid mistakes. When it was those two things that really couldn't sustain a drive.
No.
It was just bad from the beginning. And then obviously the defense, just no pressure, playing zone against Brady. And we got to catch against the sidelines. We're in business.
Here we go. Move the sticks. Get it down there for Smith. Oh, they ruling him out. Oh, incomplete.
Never mind.
Well, I think the big thing to come out of this is obviously the Bucs, not a whole lot to worry about as far as the Super Bowl hangover in the playoffs. But I think the more important and interesting conversation is what we've been talking about the whole game, which is what the hell is going on with Jalen Hurts? What's the future look like there? Like, You said it. There's no quarterback in this draft unless somehow like Kenny Pickett falls. But even at that point, maybe one more year of this and then reevaluate. But that's coming out of this game. I don't feel good about Jalen Hurts.
No, and I've heard a little bit of the Russell Wilson to Philly, just like vaguely, just because we have so many first-round picks. But I don't think that would be a good idea either, just because he's older and our timeline is so young. And like, I don't know, I'd rather pick 3 good players with that. So why not give him one more year, see if he can pass the ball better than this awful display? Is that a fumble or a pass? And we've shown if we can run the ball, he's a good QB. He can use his legs at least.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe get him more than 1.5 receivers. Maybe get Jalen Reagor off the field, and I don't know.
And maybe use more than 1.5 receivers.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that does look like a fumble. So I don't know if you could the offensive player can advance it forward. All right, 7 seconds. 6 seconds to glory. Hail Mary to Devontae Smith.
There we go. Just go.
Oh,
no, he went to Smith. That's it. That's how it ends. Oh my God.
that was terrible.
That was brutal. That was a brutal game. Well,
any final thoughts before we put a nail in this coffin that's been inevitable since maybe the midway through the second quarter?
Well, I feel bad for you and for Eagles fans because that was not the game that I thought we were going to get. I thought it was going to be a little bit more competitive. The tease from the Thursday night game in the season made it seem like it was going to be a lot better than this, but 31-15's tough. And I don't envy the Jalen Hurts question that's being asked this offseason. That's a tough one. And did Sirianni like burn Arians at midfield? Did he just not come out and meet him? They just showed Arians just like standing at midfield waiting for Sirianni, and he's just like, where the hell is this guy?
Maybe he's afraid he's going to smack him.
What a flex. No, but I'll say, like, seems like the Rams are going to come to town next week. I'll welcome the challenge. Rams didn't look that great down the stretch of the season, but I feel good. I feel good after this. 31-15. This is not what I was expecting, but I'll take it. And a stress-free playoff game is always going to be welcomed.
It's rare. I'm glad we could give you guys a tune-up game. I'll say that.
Yes,
I think regardless of what happened in this game, I mean, a loss was going to be a loss, but I feel like talk radio is going to be ablaze this week. It was going to be anyway, but it's going to be even more so. I don't think Gardner Minshew is the answer, but now it's whether Jalen Hurts is the answer at all. It doesn't matter who's backing him up. It's whether he can be an NFL QB and make downfield throws. He bailed the pocket a lot today, even though it was a clean pocket. That's been an issue all year. And he was pretty inaccurate and sloppy with the ball at times. So it's going to be probably a pretty loud offseason as it usually is, but when you don't have a QB, and especially in Philadelphia. But I'm proud of this group. Terrible game, absolutely awful game. Waste of both our times, I think. But I don't know. It's a start. It's better than 2-6 halfway through the year. Ending 9-9 is a victory.
That's true. I do wish it was a better game because I enjoyed coming on and watching it with you. So I just wish we had a better game to watch.
Yeah. No, it's been a pleasure. Solid jerseys all around. Shout out Warwick Dunn once again.
You got the Brian Dawkins? Is that what we're rocking over?
I do.
There we go. Throwbacks. So
yeah,
to better days for both of our teams.
Yeah, absolutely. After the years with the Sixers just being, a carousel of jerseys, like you can't buy a jersey without them getting traded. I just bought someone who I knew wouldn't get traded because he's already retired and in the Hall of Fame. So
there you go.
Can't go wrong.
That's the safe play. Also, the final shout out to you. Back in October, I went to San Diego. You gave me a bunch of tips. So the taco place.
Which one? Puesto? Yeah, you went to Puesto?
Puesto was legit. It was legit. So high recommendations. So the Eagles didn't win, but your travel recommendations are a win. So to all of the watchers, if you need them, hit up Sean.
Bad football, good tacos. That's good.
I'll take it.
Awesome. Well, it's been real. Good luck the rest of the way. I think you can absolutely beat the Rams if that's who you end up playing. And I guess enjoy the rest of the playoffs.
I will. Enjoy the offseason, the loud offseason, and talk radio talking about trading those 3 picks to go up and draft a quarterback in the top 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud. And as for Stacking the Box, you can catch Mark Harmon and Matt Verderam every Tuesday for the rest of the playoffs. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all soon.